The age of mutation has arrived. The more diseases you have inside you, the stronger you become after mutation. Some people had pink eye, and after awakening, their eyes fired lasers that destroyed everything. Some had all 5 major cancers in their body, and after mutation, their 5 organs directly ascended to become divine organs, capable of destroying heaven and earth with a mere wave of their hand. There were even tougher guys infected with chicken plague, awakening the ancient Kun Fist. After just 2.5 sets of Kun Fist, no one could stand against them. But I, because of my perfect health, ended up at the bottom, forcibly assigned by a shady corporation to mine in the mountains, working 16-hour shifts non-stop until I was literally worked to death.
Unexpectedly, when Zhou Luo opened his eyes again, he had actually returned to 1 month before the age of mutation. Given a second chance at life, Zhou Luo vowed to become riddled with 100 diseases and transform into the invincible, forbidden god of the world. Without wasting any time, Zhou Luo immediately picked up his phone and dialed a number.
Brother Luo, what's up? Looking for me, old brother?
Brother Hong, didn't you say before that my apartment could still be mortgaged for $1 million? I want to mortgage it.
No problem, but I have to lay this out up front. Your house is mortgaged for $1 million, but you'll only get $880,000 in hand. Pay back $1.3 million in a month. Can you accept that?
Sure, I'll head over right now. Can the money be deposited today?
Of course it can. I'll be waiting for you.
The call ends. Zhou Luo dug out the property deed, grabbed it, and headed out. An hour later, Zhou Luo left a residential building. He pulled out his phone, looked at the bank account now holding an extra $880,000, and a slight smile curled at the corner of his mouth. This was his seed money. Those rare and exotic pathogens aren't cheap, each and every one of them. To collect them all, you can't avoid spending money. Even though Brother Hong's loan is outrageously shady, he has no intention of paying it back. Once the age of mutation begins in a month, that loan contract will be as good as worthless. By then, might makes right.
I remember. In his previous life, the wealthy businessman Lin Yuan, who awakened the water bear's sacred body, bragged in an interview. He said that in the final 24 hours, when the Calamity Heavens mandate issued its notice, he remembered he had once spent $500,000 at an auction to collect a water bear carrying a mutation virus. So, after drinking the water bear and the water in the sealed jar, he finally awakened. The location of that auction was right here in Jiangnan.
During the interview, Lin Yuan had a strange expression on his face. It was partly a show of pride, mixed with a hint of regret. And precisely because of that, Zhou Luo remembered this interview very clearly.
No time to waste. That auction is happening tonight. Time to move.
Zhou Luo didn't overthink it and immediately headed for the address from his memory. 20 minutes later, Zhou Luo arrived at the entrance of a hotel.
Hello, excuse me, tonight, is there an auction being held here?
Yes, sir. Are you looking to attend?
Yes, please help me make a reservation.
Before making a reservation, we need to verify your assets, which must exceed 1 million, before we can proceed.
Then wait a moment for me.
With that, Zhou Luo ran to the side. After fiddling with his phone for a moment, he returned to the front desk with a bank account, holding a massive $1 million.
All set. Go ahead and verify it.
Verification complete. Your appointment has been successfully made. Here is your access pass. Please keep it safe.
After taking an exquisite little card from the receptionist, Zhou Luo left the hotel lobby. Watching his departing figure, the receptionist finally couldn't hold back anymore. She poked her colleague beside her with a finger, with a strange look on her face.
Did that guy just go get an online loan? He was shaking his head and nodding.
Her colleague also rolled her eyes hard.
Definitely. What was he thinking? To attend an auction, he actually went and got a loan? I don't get it.
That night, the auction officially began. Due to its bizarre nature, not many recognized the collectible value of the mutated tardigrade specimen, so Zhou Luo easily won it for $1 million. Spending $1 million was actually because he was bidding against Lin Yuan, the water bear's saint body. With this, once the pathogenic era arrives, I'll definitely become a major player. Zhou Luo looked excited. You have to understand, in his previous life, Lin Yuan, who awakened the water bear's saint body, was known as an indestructible existence. Not only was his defense off the charts, but he could also recover rapidly from injuries in a short time. Either one of these traits alone would be an absolute game-changer, but he didn't plan to swallow the tardigrade inside right now. After all, the pathogenic era was still a month away. No one knew what would happen after being infected with the tardigrade virus. If this thing is too potent and kills me in just a few days, that would be a disaster. It's safer to take it on the very last day. It's not enough. The water bear's saint body alone isn't enough to make me invincible, but where can I find those other rare viruses? Zhou Luo put away the sealed container. Lost in thought, he prepared to leave the hotel. Just then, his phone in his pocket suddenly rang. The caller was a familiar name, Qin Sisi. A cold glint flashed in Zhou Luo's eyes. Qin Sisi was his current girlfriend. She was recently diagnosed with mid-stage kidney cancer. Since then, she had been hinting, openly and subtly, for him to donate a kidney to save her. But Zhou Luo thought the doctor said surgery had a chance of curing her directly. So he had Qin Sisi hospitalized to prepare for surgery. He was covering all the expenses. Zhou Luo felt he had done more than enough. Who would have thought Qin Sisi would actually hold a grudge against him for refusing to give her his kidney? In his previous life, after the pathogenic era began, her powers skyrocketed due to her kidney cancer. She then dumped Zhou Luo. Later, invited by Lu Ruyan, she joined the Lu Corporation, and abusing her position, she forcibly sent Zhou Luo to work in the mines until he died. Qin Sisi, in my past life, I never imagined you could be so vicious. But now, once the pathogenic era begins, I'll settle this score. Zhou Luo hung up the call directly, blocked and deleted her, all in one go. But not long after leaving the hotel, a man's voice suddenly called out from behind him. Hey, buddy, hold on a second. Zhou Luo turned to look. He found the person who stopped him was a bespectacled man wearing a black trench coat. You are? Zhou Luo grew wary. His hand in his pocket tightened around the sealed container holding the tardigrade. Sorry to bother you. My apologies. If I'm not mistaken, you must be the person who just bought that tardigrade at the auction, right? The bespectacled man smiled. Then he introduced himself. My name is Chang Shuo. I'm the seller of the tardigrade. Zhou Luo frowned slightly. The seller? What do you want with me? You've got it all wrong. I'm not here for that tardigrade. Chang Shuo seemed to have read Zhou Luo's thoughts. He then put on a friendly smile. You spent so much money on this tardigrade. You must be backed by some big biolab, right? Zhou Luo narrowed his eyes. He remained on guard. What's that got to do with you? Relax. I'm here to propose a partnership. Chang Shuo licked his lips. I work at an Eagle Country biolab here in Daxia. I can get my hands on a lot of rare virus samples. This tardigrade was something our research base accidentally obtained during an experiment. I'm the one who smuggled it out. If you need some rare virus samples, you can come to me. $500,000 per sample, non-negotiable. So, what do you say? After Chang Shuo finished speaking, he stared intently at Zhou Luo, though he still wore a smile. It was clear he was actually very nervous. Hearing all this, Zhou Luo fell silent for a moment. He suddenly realized something. In his past life, when Lin Yuan was being interviewed, why there was a hint of regret on his face. Now it all made sense. It was because of Chang Shuo. Back then, after Lin Yuan won the bid for the tardigrade, Chang Shuo must have approached him for a partnership too. But Lin Yuan wasn't from any biolab. He had no use for those virus samples. Therefore, he turned Chang Shuo down. But later, no one could have predicted the coming of the plague epoch. After this realization, he was overcome with ecstasy. Zhou Luo felt his heart pounding. He was almost beside himself with excitement. Now this is what I call a golden opportunity. This is the real deal. I was just wondering where to get some rare viruses. And now Chang Shuo shows up at my door. But excitement aside, Chang Shuo just said, a virus sample costs 500,000. That's not cheap. Where am I going to get more money? Zhou Luo thought to himself. Seeing Zhou Luo remain silent, Chang Shuo grew anxious. If you're not happy with the price, we can talk about it. I can drop it to 300,000 per sample. But that's my absolute lowest. You know how it is. Eagle Country biolabs have tight security on this stuff. Smuggling things out is a huge risk for me. After saying his piece, Chang Shuo looked back at Zhou Luo's face. Studying his expression, Zhou Luo snapped back to reality. He forced himself to suppress a smile, putting on a serious face. Alright then, 300,000 it is. But my demand is going to be huge. Can you handle that? Chang Shuo asked excitedly. How huge are we talking? Zhou Luo pretended to think for a moment before speaking. How many different viruses does your research base have? Chang Shuo thought about it. About 100 or so. Most of them are rare, uncommon strains. What if I want one of each? Can you get them all? Now it was Zhou Luo's turn to get excited. Over 100 different kinds. Do you realize what that means? If he could get his hands on all of them and infect himself with each before the plague epoch arrives, he'd be practically invincible. No problem. I have my ways. After saying that, he added, but before you get them, you'll need to pay half up front as a deposit. That's fine. Let's add each other as friends then. I'll contact you when I need it. After adding Zhou Luo as a friend, Chang Shuo hurriedly left. Zhou Luo took a deep breath. His mind raced. Over 100 types of viruses. 300,000 each. That means I need at least 30 million. Such a huge sum of money. I definitely can't get that just through loans. Then I'll have to try that method. Zhou Luo's gaze suddenly turned sharp. In his past life, when he was a forced laborer at a mine owned by the Lu Group, He occasionally overheard a few low-level supervisors chatting. They said the Lu group was frantically collecting snow lotuses from the Tian Shan Mountains everywhere, only to destroy them. Back then, after hearing this news, Zhou Luo had a suspicion. The reason the Lu group was doing this. Could it be because the snow lotus posed a threat to Lu Ruyan? Put another way, this snow lotus. Could it be the medicine that could cure Lu Ruyan's genetic disease? Before the onset of the mutation era, a suspicion is just a suspicion. Back then, Zhou Luo had no way to verify this idea. But now it's different. The mutation era hasn't arrived yet. The Lu group is still searching globally for a way to cure Lu Ruyan. If this guess is true, then all he needs to do is sell this information to the Lu group. Would he still be short on funds then? Anyway, even if his guess is wrong, the Lu group can't really do anything to him. Lu Ruyan. In my past life, your Lu group enslaved me to death. This time, the outcome might be reversed. If I really do cure you, causing you to lose a heaven-sent opportunity, wouldn't you have to thank me? Thinking of this, Zhou Luo couldn't help but feel a bit excited. He took out his phone and found the phone number Lu Kailong left in the bounty news. He dialed the number. The call was quickly answered. However, the voice that came through wasn't Lu Kailong's. It was a clear female voice. Hello. This is the chairman's office of the Lu group. How may I help you? Zhou Luo got straight to the point. Tell Lu Kailong I have a way to cure his daughter. Okay, please hold. A moment later, a man's voice, sounding quite weary, came back on the line. It's not convenient to discuss this over the phone. Please come to the Lu group headquarters. I'll send someone to pick you up. Zhou Luo agreed. Within a few minutes, a Rolls-Royce pulled up in front of Zhou Luo. As expected of the Lu group, they didn't even ask for my location, yet they found me. But that's fine. He'd be more than happy if the Lu group worked faster. The mutation era is about to descend. Before that, he has a lot of things to do. Saving time is the best. Meanwhile, in the office, Lu Kailong sat at his desk. His eyes kept drifting toward the girl in the wheelchair. By the floor-to-ceiling window, the girl was exceptionally beautiful, but her figure appeared extremely frail, evoking pity in anyone who saw her. She gazed out the window, her expression calm, seemingly devoid of joy or sorrow. Ruyan, hold on a little longer. Dad will definitely find a way to cure you. Lu Kailong's voice was full of guilt. The calmer his daughter's expression appeared, the more pain he felt in his heart, because he knew this strange illness in his daughter was tormenting her body every single moment. 10 years ago, when the strange illness in Lu Ruyan first showed signs, it immediately caused her to faint from the pain at school. Upon receiving the news, Lu Kailong rushed there immediately and took Lu Ruyan straight to Eagle Country for treatment. But after 3 full years of treatment, they ultimately returned empty-handed. During that time, he also learned that Lu Ruyan endured pain comparable to childbirth every single moment. 3 years passed, and Lu Ruyan lost all feeling in her legs. Now, another 7 years have gone by. At this point, it's not just her legs, she's lost all sensation in her arms as well. You could say, if it weren't for Lu Ruyan's strong willpower, she might have outlived her own child long ago. The office door was knocked on at that moment. Lu Kailong took a deep breath and called out, "Come in." The door was pushed open. Zhou Luo entered the office, led by the driver. Zhou Luo's first glance fell on the figure by the window, Lu Ruyan sitting in a wheelchair. The moment he saw her, Zhou Luo's pupils couldn't help but contract. In his past life, even though he worked day and night in the mines, he had heard of Lu Ruyan's infamous title, the Demon Empress Ruyan. Those 4 words made everyone in the world pale at the mention. 1 month after the era of mutation descended, a strange treasure fell from the sky in Xuhe City, east of Jiangnan City. Countless powerful figures rushed there, seeking to seize the opportunity. But in the end, Lu Ruyan, relying solely on her Calamity Saint body, carved a bloody path through the crowd of powerhouses. She took the treasure into her arms. If that was all, she wouldn't have earned the title Demon Empress. The key was, after securing the supreme treasure, Lu Ruyan ruthlessly slaughtered every living being in Xuhe City. She used their heart's blood to refine the treasure. Such methods were truly demonic among demons. Some speculated that the reason Lu Ruyan could be so ruthless was largely due to the torment of her strange illness. If I can cure this woman, then I'll have done a good deed. Zhou Luo withdrew his gaze. He stopped looking at Lu Ruyan. This woman is a rose with thorns that are poisonous. He didn't want to get on her bad side. While Zhou Luo was sizing up Lu Ruyan, Lu Kailong was also sizing up Zhou Luo. After receiving Zhou Luo's call, Lu Kailong had someone investigate Zhou Luo's background thoroughly. Graduated from an ordinary university, currently works at a tech company. A completely ordinary person. If this were back when Lu Ruyan first fell ill, and someone like him came saying he could cure her, Lu Kailong would have told him to get lost. I'd ignore the top medical experts and believe some young punk instead? That's ridiculous. But now, Lu Kailong was completely in a mindset of grasping at straws. As long as Zhou Luo's treatment wasn't too outrageous, he was willing to give it a try. Lu Kailong cleared his throat and spoke to Zhou Luo. Go on. How do you plan to treat my daughter? Zhou Luo smiled. Before that, I'd like to confirm one thing. Mr. Lu, if my method actually works on your daughter's condition, then the $100 million reward should be mine, right? Of course, money is no issue for me. I'm just worried you're not qualified to take it. Lu Kailong waved his hand impatiently. Cut the small talk. Either tell me the treatment plan now, or get out. There are plenty of others like you waiting. Seeing this, Zhou Luo stopped wasting words. Your daughter's illness can be cured with Tianshan Snow Lotus. Tianshan Snow Lotus. And then, Lu Kailong glanced up at Zhou Luo. His gaze was completely flat. He'd seen plenty of people like Zhou Luo, who just came and named an herb saying it could cure Lu Ruyan. But among these people, not a single one's herb had been effective. Over time, Lu Kailong had grown somewhat numb to it. That's it, just Tianshan Snow Lotus. Zhou Luo was also very direct and full of confidence. Of course, that confidence was faked. In his past life, the Lu group went to great lengths to collect and destroy the Tianshan Snow Lotus. Whether it would actually work on Lu Ruyan's illness was still unknown. It was all just his speculation. Go get me a Tianshan Snow Lotus. Brew it and have Ruyan drink it. Lu Kailong didn't waste any time. He immediately had his secretary prepare the medicinal ingredients. Although there are many fakes of the Tianshan Snow Lotus on the market, and genuine ones are extremely rare, that wasn't a problem for him at all. While the secretary was fetching the medicine, Zhou Luo's gaze kept drifting towards Lu Ruyan's direction. At the same time, he thought to himself, who would have thought? The formidable demon Empress Ruyan from the past life was actually this quiet before her awakening. If the people killed by demon Empress Ruyan saw her like this, they probably wouldn't believe it. Zhou Luo didn't notice that while he was observing Lu Ruyan, Lu Kailong's eyelid was twitching uncontrollably. Damn it, how long is this kid gonna keep staring at my daughter? My daughter is indeed breathtakingly beautiful, but isn't it a bit much to stare so blatantly? If your method doesn't work later, you'll see how I deal with you. Although Lu Kailong was roaring inside, his face remained completely calm, appearing rather composed. About an hour later, the secretary who went for the medicine finally knocked and entered. Boss, the medicine has been decocted. It contains only the Tianshan Snow Lotus, no other ingredients. The secretary placed a thermos cup in front of Lu Kailong. Lu Kailong picked up the cup. After glancing at Zhou Luo, he got up and walked to Lu Ruyan's side. He first took a sip himself. Then he poured a little into the cup lid and brought it to Lu Ruyan's lips. Daughter, drink this. See if it has any effect. Lu Ruyan softly agreed. Then she slowly drank it. It took about 10 minutes for the cup to finally be empty. Well, daughter, do you feel any better? Lu Kailong put down the thermos cup, his gaze fixed intently on Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan's brow was tightly furrowed. A flush of color gradually appeared on her originally pale, paper-white face. Her previously calm, still eyes suddenly rippled with emotion. Her gaze abruptly turned to her right hand. My hand. Lu Kailong quickly followed her gaze. He saw that her right hand, which had long lost all sensation, was now slightly lifting up. It really works. Lu Kailong was utterly shocked. He truly hadn't expected that such a hastily prepared cup of herbal medicine would actually have an effect on his daughter's condition. After the shock came overwhelming joy. Ha ha ha, daughter, you can be saved. Lu Kailong's laughter echoed throughout the entire office. Zhou Luo, standing nearby, also breathed a sigh of relief. He might have been putting on a brave face, but he was actually just as nervous a moment ago. A flicker of relief passed through Zhou Luo's eyes. If there weren't people around right now, he'd have given himself a good knock on the head. Luckily, when he heard that piece of gossip, he made a point to remember it. Lu Ruyan gently waved her pale right arm. A rare glimmer of joy appeared in her eyes. Then, she tried to move her left arm, but this time, it didn't go as she hoped. Her left arm remained motionless on the wheelchair. Father, my left hand still won't move. Lu Kailong quickly looked at Zhou Luo. Mr. Zhou, what's going on? Mr. Lu, don't worry just yet. Zhou Luo cleared his throat. Then he continued. Treatment always takes a course of therapy. From now on, just give Miss Lu Tianshan Snow Lotus daily, and her condition will gradually improve. I see, I was too hasty. Lu Kailong suddenly understood. At this moment, he completely believed in Zhou Luo. In all these years, Zhou Luo was the only one whose treatment actually showed results. Seeing the trust in Lu Kailong's eyes, Zhou Luo suddenly felt like laughing. Although he didn't understand why the Tianshan Snow Lotus was effective against Lu Ruyan's illness. That wasn't the most important thing right now. He licked his lips, and said to Lu Keilong, "Since my treatment is effective, what about the 100 million yuan reward?" "Of course, Lu Keilong, keep my word." Lu Keilong waved his hand grandly. He directly instructed his secretary, "Transfer 100 million to Mr. Zhou's account." The secretary accepted the task and quickly left the office. Only Zhou Luo and the Lu father and daughter remained in the room. Lu Keilong said excitedly, "Mr. Zhou, if my daughter truly recovers in the future, I'll give you another 100 million as a token of gratitude." And Lu Ruyan, who had been mostly silent, actually spoke up at this moment. She looked at Zhou Luo with her bright eyes, her face full of gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Zhou. Your kindness to me is something I will never forget." Zhou Luo's expression instantly turned extremely odd. He hurriedly said, No, it's fine. It's the least I could do. As long as you get better." He wanted to stay as far away from this Lu demoness as possible, who wanted her repayment. In fact, if Lu Ruyan's illness was truly cured before the Cataclysm era, then after the Cataclysm era passed, Zhou Luo would not hesitate to eliminate her. He hadn't forgotten that in his past life, he died at the hands of the Lu Corporation. Suddenly, Zhou Luo's phone buzzed in his pocket. It was a text notification. "The money's in." Zhou Luo's breath hitched. Looking at the long string of digits on his bank card, he was instantly overwhelmed with excitement. He's lived 2 lifetimes, but he's never seen this much money. But he quickly calmed down. The top priority now was to contact Chang Shua immediately and get him to produce those over 100 viruses. "Mr. Lu, I have something to attend to, so I won't disturb you any further." Zhou Luo made up a random excuse and prepared to leave. "Take care, Mr. Zhou." Lu Keilong cupped his hands toward Zhou Luo. "Mr. Zhou, thank you." Lu Ruyan also looked at Zhou Luo with deep gratitude. Seeing this scene, Zhou Luo almost couldn't hold back a laugh. The day before the age of mutation descends, after the heavens give their warning, he wondered what expressions these two would have. Would they want to kill him? After leaving the Lu group, Zhou Luo didn't waste a second. He immediately sent a message to Chang Shuo. "I've got the money ready. I want one of every virus from your research base. All 100+ of them." Not long after, a reply came right back. "Come to this address. We'll do the deal in person." Immediately, an address was sent to Zhou Luo's phone. He went to the bank, withdrew the deposit, and hurried to the destination. In a high-end hotel in Jiangnan City, Zhou Luo placed a suitcase full of cash on the table. His gaze fell on Chang Shua across from him. "I've brought the deposit. I want one of every virus from your research base. That's not a problem, right?" "Of course not." Chang Shua's eyes lit up. He stepped forward and opened the suitcase. Seeing it packed full of cash, he was thrilled. He randomly pulled out a couple of bills, checked them, and confirmed they were real. Chang Shua quickly closed the suitcase. Then he looked back at Zhou Luo. "Give me 2 days. Same time, same place in 2 days. I'll have everything you asked for then." Zhou Luo had no issue with that. But he didn't just let Chang Shua take the money and leave. Instead, he stopped him. "Hold on. Before that, you'll need to show me some ID first. Otherwise, if you're a scammer, who would I complain to?" Chang Shuo seemed to have expected Zhou Luo to say this. He immediately pulled his work ID and driver's license from his pocket and handed them to Zhou Luo. Shunite Biopharmaceutical Research Base. Name, Chang Shua. Position, Head of Viral Repository Management. It clearly states Chang Shuo's work information. After confirming everything was in order, Zhou Luo returned the item to Chang Shuo. "I'll bring the final payment here in 2 days. We'll do a cash-on-delivery exchange." "Deal." Chang Shuo nodded. Hearing the words "final payment," a flicker of excitement flashed in his eyes again. $30 million. Once he gets his hands on it, he'll be set for the rest of his life. Just as he was lost in the joy of a worry-free future, Zhou Luo's voice pulled him back to reality. "Oh, right. There's something I need to tell you. My 100+ viruses, can you put them all in one test tube?" This request was something Zhou Luo had planned all along. After all, every virus in this research base is a real nasty piece of work. Who knows, you might swallow one and kick the bucket in under an hour. So his plan was to take them all at the last minute, before the pathogenic era descends. And to do that, he couldn't exactly hold over 100 test tubes, swallowing them one by one. It's best to mix them all together. Easier to consume. But to Chang Shuo's ears, this sounded completely different. What? Chang Shua was stunned for a moment. Then, he looked at Zhou Luo with utter confusion. "If you do that, these viruses will lose all research value. You work in biopharmaceuticals. How can you not understand that? Besides, if you mix over 100 different viruses together, they could easily undergo secondary or even multiple uncontrollable mutations. By then, no one knows what the virus would become. An entire city could fall." As he spoke, a flicker of fear appeared in Chang Shua's eyes. He knew exactly what kind of devil-level viruses were stored in his research base. Mutated Ebola, mutated novel rabies, mutated smallpox, and more. Any one of them, on its own, is enough to make people tremble with fear. But now, Zhou Luo wants him to take these terrifying viruses and mix them all together like some cursed brew. Holy cow. Is this guy trying to end the world? Cheng Shuo sized Zhou Luo up for a moment, wondering to himself. What's it to you? I'm paying you. Just do what you're told. Zhou Luo wasn't scared by Cheng Shuo's words. On the contrary, he was incredibly excited. Mutation? That's even better. Mutation is good. They should mutate. He hoped these viruses would mutate to become even stronger. Ideally, these over 100 viruses would mutate into one terrifying, world-ending super virus in minutes. That would make him even happier. Cheng Shuo was speechless. After a long pause, he stiffly nodded. No problem. I'll do as you say. He had come to a realization. Once he got the money, he'd disappear for good. He'd flee abroad. Far away from this mess. Whatever Zhou Luo wanted to do then would be none of his business. As long as the money was right. 2 days later. Don't be late. Seeing the other agree, Zhou Luo felt reassured. The two left the hotel separately. These over 100 viruses will definitely push my power to a terrifying level. Thinking this, a fighting spirit ignited in Zhou Luo's eyes. It's not enough, not nearly enough. He took a deep breath. His gaze turned sharp. These viruses are powerful, sure, but Zhou Luo still wasn't satisfied. Blue Star has a huge population. Naturally, many people suffer from rare, incurable diseases. After the pathogenic era began in his past life, powerful individuals emerged instantly across the globe, each one more formidable than the last. Top-tier figures like Lu Ruyan appeared one after another. There were also those who weren't originally sick, but had incredible luck, stumbling upon rare treasures, which massively boosted their power. Too many variables. Zhou Luo couldn't guarantee that just these viruses would let him dominate the world. Since he's been reborn, he must become the strongest. Otherwise, he'd waste this golden opportunity. Zhou Luo licked his lips. He already had his next plan. As for viruses, he had collected all he could. But factors that could strengthen someone after the pathogenic era weren't limited to just illness. Chemical waste, nuclear wastewater, things ordinary people avoid like the plague, could also propel him to the top. Perfect. There's a big chemical plant in Jiangnan City. Let's go see if we can get a bottle of chemical wastewater from there. Then, I'll just pour that chemical wastewater into the virus test tube. Give it a good shake. The more Zhou Luo thought about it, the more excited he got. Man, that's gonna be awesome. No time to waste. Zhou Luo immediately went to the roadside. He hailed a taxi and sped off towards the chemical plant. Zhou Luo had a clear goal. What he was looking for was the chemical waste produced by Mingxing Chemical during manufacturing. About 20 minutes later, Zhou Luo found the pool where the plant stored its waste. He secretly filled a whole bottle to take back. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. It was time for the agreed-upon exchange with Cheng Shuo. After Zhou Luo brought the other half of the cash to the hotel, sure enough, he saw Cheng Shuo waiting in the room. I brought the other half of the money. Where's what I want? Zhou Luo placed the money case on the floor. His gaze shifted to the other side. This is it. Cheng Shuo carefully pulled out a small box. Then he gently placed it on the table. He gingerly opened the box. A spiral test tube with a very sci-fi look appeared in Zhou Luo's field of vision. As you requested, I've put all 105 mutated viruses from our research base in there, Cheng Shuo said, while also taking out a USB drive. This contains the detailed data on all 105 viruses. This is the only copy. Keep it safe. If you lose it, I can't get another one. I know. Zhou Luo just glanced at the USB drive before looking away. His gaze returned to the test tube. The tube's outer wall was completely transparent. Inside was a pale blue, unknown liquid. To the naked eye, it didn't seem particularly special. Seeing Zhou Luo staring at the tube without speaking, Cheng Shuo couldn't help but cough twice. Let me be clear up front. You're the one who wanted all these viruses mixed together. Once you take it back, whether the viral specimens inside can remain intact is something I can't guarantee. Seeing Cheng Shuo's "don't come crying to me if there's a problem" expression, Zhou Luo couldn't help but want to laugh. Don't worry, I definitely won't come looking for you. He closed the box. Then he put it in his own pocket. Cheng Shuo then counted the cash in the briefcase. Everything checked out. And with that, the deal was successfully concluded. I'll be on my way then. See you around. Zhou Luo left without looking back. After getting the money, Cheng Shuo was also ready to leave. But as his gaze swept across the table, he noticed that the flash drive containing the detailed virus data hadn't been taken. What the hell? He forgot to take the data too? Cheng Shuo scratched his head. Logically speaking, what's on this flash drive is far more important than the virus sample itself. As someone from a biological research institute, how could he forget something this crucial? That's really strange. Whatever. I got my money anyway. The rest has nothing to do with me. Chang Shu shook his head. He wasn't about to get involved. With the money in hand, he left the hotel right after. Time passed slowly. Soon, only 1 week remained until the arrival of the pathogenesis era. Inside a high-end apartment building in Jiangnan City, a place Zhou Luo had recently purchased, he opened a mysterious package. He took out a small vial from inside. A smile couldn't help but curl at the corner of his mouth. This was a treasure he had specially arranged to acquire. 100% pure nuclear wastewater. With this stuff, once the pathogenesis era arrives, I'll be practically invincible. He placed the vial securely in a storage cabinet. A flicker of anticipation rose in Zhou Luo's heart. Suddenly, the phone on the table rang again. Picking it up, he saw it was an unknown number. Zhou Luo pressed the answer button. From the other end of the line, came Qin Cixi's voice, tinged with irritation. Zhou Luo, what is wrong with you? You don't answer my calls. Did you block me? And also, the hospital fees. Why haven't you paid them these past few days? Do you think I'm a burden? You don't want to save me anymore, is that it? Your true thoughts are showing. Listening to her helpless rage on the other end, Zhou Luo let out a cold laugh. Qin Cixi, we're done. Don't bother me again. Got it? With that, before Qin Cixi on the other end could erupt with her furious and shattering voice, Zhou Luo directly ended the call. In the days that followed, Zhou Luo never stopped striving to get stronger. Every method of gaining strength he could think of, he made a point to collect. Now, his storage locker is packed with treasures. Suddenly, the TV behind him cut in with breaking news. 10 minutes ago, Eagleland's Bronze Gate Bridge suddenly collapsed. Casualties are unknown. On the TV, the news anchor was rapidly reading the report. Chaotic footage was interspersed throughout. The images were blurry, but you could just make out Eagleland's famous Bronze Gate Bridge. Except, the once majestic and spectacular bridge was now split right down the middle. As if something had cleaved it in two. The plague epoch is really coming. Seeing this news, Zhou Luo perked up. He remembered clearly. In his past life, the reason the Bronze Gate Bridge collapsed was because of a beast king that descended upon Eagleland. Its name was the Crimson-Tailed Scorpion. Since the plague epoch hadn't fully arrived yet, it initially descended at only the second realm, the Transformation Realm. Because of that, Eagleland's military was later able to kill it with conventional weapons. Even so, Zhou Luo also remembered. This descent directly caused 50,000 casualties in Eagleland. At first, Eagleland tried to suppress the news everywhere. They didn't want word of the Crimson-Tailed Scorpion to get out. What they didn't expect was that in this digital age, information spreads incredibly fast. Plus, the commotion the Crimson-Tailed Scorpion caused was too big to cover up. In just 2 days, photos and videos of its battle with Eagleland's military were leaked everywhere, throwing the entire blue planet into panic. After all, the Crimson-Tailed Scorpion's body, over 10 meters tall, and dozens of meters wide, and that terrifying tail pincer that sliced the bridge in one blow. It was truly shocking. Perfect. My preparations weren't in vain. Zhou Luo clenched his fist. He had considered one possibility. That after being reborn this time, he might have returned to a normal timeline. But now, with this news breaking out, Zhou Luo's unease was completely shattered. The age of mutation is indeed approaching. At this moment, in the Lu group, inside the chairman's office, Lu Kailong excitedly came before Lu Ruyan, his face beaming with joy. Daughter, your latest physical exam report is out. According to the checkup, your physical condition has improved by 30% compared to before. If you continue taking the Tianshan Snow Lotus as prescribed, your illness should be cured before long. Hearing Lu Kailong's excited voice beside her, Lu Ruyan, sitting in a wheelchair, had a smile curling at the corner of her lips. She parted her red lips lightly. Father, Mr. Zhou has done too much for me. Once I recover from this illness, I must repay him properly again. Lu Kailong nodded upon hearing this. Of course, Mr. Zhou has shown great kindness to our Lu family. Tell me, daughter, how do you want to repay Mr. Zhou? Lu Ruyan thought for a moment, then smiled and said, Father, I want Mr. Zhou to become mine. Daughter, you've taken a liking to Mr. Zhou? Lu Kailong didn't seem to refuse. As long as you can get better, you can marry whoever you want. I, your father, will support you. But Lu Ruyan shook her head at this moment. She turned her head away, her gaze returning to the window, a smile still hanging on her face. That's not what I mean. I just simply want him to become mine. Father, do you know about mummies? I want to turn Zhou Luo into a mummy. That way, he'll forever be mine. He'll never betray me, nor will he defy me. As she said this, Lu Ruyan's tone was very light and cheerful. It sounded like a little girl coquettishly talking to her father. But these words fell on Lu Kailong's ears, and left him somewhat stunned. Is this right? When did my daughter become like this? But this thought didn't linger for long. Soon, a smile also curled at the corner of Lu Kailong's lips. No problem. When the time comes, I'll have someone bring him over. Daughter, you can do whatever you want with him. In his eyes, Zhou Luo is just an ordinary person. If my daughter wants his life, it would be an honor for him. 7 days passed quickly. In the early hours of that day, every human on Blue Star heard the same voice in their minds. The pathogenesis era is about to begin. 24 hours later, all of humanity will undergo evolution. The more severe one's illnesses and negative conditions, the higher their evolutionary level will be. The pathogenesis era begins in 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Just 1 minute later, the entire internet on Blue Star exploded instantly. Did you guys hear a voice saying something about the pathogenesis era starting? Oh my god, so it wasn't just me. I thought I was hallucinating. All of humanity is evolving? Is that for real? The sicker you are, the higher you evolve? I just got diagnosed with terminal lung cancer yesterday. Does that mean I'm saved? Discussions about the pathogenesis era surged across the internet in waves. That night, no one on Blue Star slept peacefully. Those who were originally healthy beat their chests in frustration, regretting why they hadn't gotten sick more often. Meanwhile, those already plagued by illness were overjoyed. They praised the heavens for being just. At this moment, Qin Sisi changed her phone number again and called Zhou Luo. Zhou Luo, did you hear it? The pathogenesis era is about to begin. The heavens truly have eyes. They know I, Qin Sisi, am not meant to die. Don't you agree? Speaking of which, I should probably thank you. If you had agreed to give me your kidney back then, I would have just become ordinary. Zhou Luo, after the pathogenesis era begins, I'll make you regret it. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. Hearing the slightly crazed tone on the other end, Zhou Luo's eyes glinted with amusement. But he quickly adjusted his tone, feigning pity as he said, Sisi, after the pathogenesis era begins, can we meet up? Qin Sisi on the other end was stunned for a moment. For a god, the SSTA. Then burst into wild laughter. Zhou Luo, regretting it now, are you? Fine, I'll give you a chance. On the day the pathogenesis era begins, come to my place. Let me see how sincere your apology is. Then I'll consider whether or not to let you off. With that, she hung up. Looking at the darkened phone screen, Zhou Luo's expression returned to its amused state. He chuckled softly and said, after the pathogenesis era begins, the hunter will be me. On the table in front of Zhou Luo were several very conspicuous bottles and jars. Among them, the most eye-catching was the test tube placed in the middle. Zhou Luo looked at that test tube, feeling extremely excited because the blue liquid inside had completely turned black by now. If you looked closely, Zhou Luo could see that within this black liquid, something was constantly moving within it. It looked as if they were fighting inside. I wonder how many surprises you'll give me. Zhou Luo took a deep breath. After steadying his mind, his gaze turned to the other bottles nearby. They were, respectively, the mutated tardigrade prototype, collected chemical wastewater, purchased nuclear wastewater, and lethal poisons he gathered from other sources. Things like concentrated DDVP, Yunnan mountain death cap mushrooms, and so on. Anything that could kill a person. Zhou Luo had pretty much collected it all. Any one of these, if ingested by a normal person, would definitely cause them to kick the bucket, dead beyond dead. Let me mix them together, so I don't run out of time later. Soon, he was holding a small bottle, containing a murky green, unknown liquid that emitted a foul stench. Inside was a mixture of the tardigrade prototype, nuclear wastewater, chemical wastewater, and a host of unknown, highly toxic substances. As for that test tube containing the mutated virus, he did not open it. For this test tube, Zhou Luo planned to ingest it separately. After finishing all this, he silently sat down on the sofa, quietly awaiting the arrival of the pathogenesis era. Time passed slowly. The countdown to the start of the pathogenesis era was at 1 minute. Hearing the familiar alert tone, Zhou Luo sprang into action. First, he picked up the test tube filled with the virus. After opening it, he gulped it down in one go. The moment the black liquid entered Zhou Luo's mouth, a fiery, burning sensation spread from the base of his tongue. Immediately after, from his throat, esophagus, all the way to his stomach, a fiery, stinging pain erupted everywhere. Not only that, once the pain in his stomach began, Zhou Luo suddenly realized cold sweat was already seeping from his back. At the same time, pain began to surge through every part of his body. The pain grew from faint to intense. In just a few seconds, it became so severe it nearly made Zhou Luo pass out. Hold on. Zhou Luo gritted his teeth. Veins bulged on his forehead. He struggled to raise his arm, grasped the bottle already mixed with nuclear wastewater and other toxins, and poured all the liquid inside into his mouth. This time, Zhou Luo didn't feel much of anything because the intense pain from all over his body had completely captured his attention. He had no mind for the faint sting in his throat. If anyone saw Zhou Luo now, they would be terrified by his appearance. His eyes bulged, his face flushed crimson. Dense networks of blood vessels covered his skin. He looked like a demon from hell. The age of mutation has officially begun. As the countdown reached its final second, it was as if an invisible hand had swept across the world. All humans suffering from illness and pain suddenly felt their ailments vanish. Not only that, they were astonished to discover that their bodies seemed different. Those with lung cancer inhaled and exhaled vast amounts of spiritual energy with each breath. Their physical strength increased exponentially. Those with skin diseases found their skin becoming hard as rock, impervious to fire and water. There were also those born with disabled legs, who now felt an inexhaustible strength in their limbs. A simple jump could propel them dozens of meters high. Like them, Zhou Luo at this moment had already recovered from his earlier agony. Infected with tardigrade virus, talent acquired. Immortal body, limb regeneration. Infected with mutated rabies virus, talent acquired. Brain processing speed increased by 1000%. Comprehension increased by 1000%. Infected with mutated Ebola virus, talent acquired. Golden divine blood, Emperor's blood. Spiritual energy absorption speed increased by 10,000%. Infected with nuclear wastewater, talent acquired. Physique enhanced by 1000%. One enhancement after another manifested within Zhou Luo's body. Every time a boost effect flashed, Zhou Luo could clearly feel his body's strength growing further. Detected individual negative statuses, up to 138 types. Achieved afflicted with 100 illnesses. Strengthening fusion in progress. Fusion successful. 9 nether chaos body. In that instant, Zhou Luo only felt an incredibly powerful energy erupting within him. And at that very moment, centered on Zhou Luo, nearly half of Jiangnan City's area, the spiritual energy within began to continuously contract. The spiritual energy formed a massive vortex, continuously flowing into Zhou Luo's body, and Zhou Luo himself had now become the eye of this spiritual energy storm. Zhou Luo's realm was continuously rising. In just a moment, he directly reached the 9th layer of the initial realm. But even so, Zhou Luo could still feel the Dantian within him, like a black hole, still wildly inhaling and exhaling, until his realm stabilized at the 6th layer of the transformation realm. Did the Dantian gradually calm down? Transformation realm, 6th layer. Zhou Luo lightly sensed the terrifying power within him. He was certain, if he wanted to, with just a light wave of his hand, the apartment building he was in would instantly collapse. Is this the feeling of being strong? Zhou Luo took a deep breath. The corner of his mouth curled up even more. He was finally no longer the harmless lamb from his previous life, at the mercy of others. The strength of the transformation realm's 6th layer. At this current stage, in the entire Great Xia, he might be the only one. Just as Zhou Luo was pondering, the apartment building beneath his feet suddenly became precarious. From outside, several deafening explosions suddenly rang out. It's it, silver-armored mystic dragon. Zhou Luo immediately understood what was happening. At this same time in his previous life, when the plague epoch had just begun, near a boarding elementary school in Jiangnan City, a silver-armored mystic dragon of the transformation realm's 1st layer suddenly appeared. Since the plague epoch had just begun not long ago, even humans who had serious illnesses before awakening were only at the initial realm at this time. Therefore, the sudden appearance of the silver-armored mystic dragon directly caused countless casualties. Countless children from families died at its hands. Back then, the order in Daxia hadn't completely collapsed yet, and Zhou Luo hadn't been captured by the later rising Lu Corporation either. And this elementary school was located right near Zhou Luo's original residence. You could say, Zhou Luo almost witnessed this brutal massacre with his own eyes. I remember from my past life, after the silver-armored profound serpent was killed, its serpentine spine would transform into a silver spear, incredibly powerful. And I just happen to be lacking a weapon right now. You're the one. Zhou Luo smiled faintly. In an instant, he vanished from the spot. At the main gate of Sunshine Elementary School, the police looked at the terrifying silver-armored profound serpent in the sky, their eyes all flashing with seriousness. It was nighttime. The children of Sunshine Elementary were all resting in the dormitory. If that silver-armored profound serpent reaches the dormitory building, the casualties would be countless. Open fire first. Draw that beast's attention. Don't let it harm the children. The leader of the tactical squad, Chen Dao, immediately ordered. Upon hearing this, the squad members all raised their firearms and opened fire on the silver-armored profound serpent in the sky. A torrent of firepower poured out, but these bullets, which could normally easily kill carbon-based life forms, upon touching the silver-armored profound serpent's scales, seemed to lose all their force. They were simply deflected, not even leaving a scratch. But their objective was achieved. They diverted the silver-armored profound serpent's attention away from the students. Now, its crimson eyes turned towards the police squad members at the gate. A flash of disdain flickered in its eyes. Insignificant ants. How dare you disturb my feast? The next moment, the silver-armored profound serpent soared above the police squad like a swimming dragon. It swung its serpentine tail, in a sweeping strike at those below. The tail sweep was incredibly fast. The squad members had no time to react before they were hit. Some coughed up blood, others fell to the ground. The once fully equipped squad members were now in a state of utter disarray. Damn beast! Chen Dao gritted his teeth, a trace of blood seeping from the corner of his mouth. The team he led was hastily formed after the Cataclysm era descended today, and the team members were all awakened ones suffering from severe illnesses. Even so, the strongest among them was only at the initial realm, 3rd level. They were no match for the silver-scaled profound python before them. Among the wounded team members, a young man with a clean, close-cropped chestnut haircut stood up. He looked at the captain. Captain Chen, how long until backup arrives? Chen Dao thought for a moment before replying. The bureau said, they've already gone to request military firepower support. It'll probably take about 10 more minutes. Currently, no Metamorphosis Realm expert could possibly appear in the entire Jiangnan city. Therefore, to deal with this silver-scaled profound python, we can only rely on large-scale conventional weapons. The crimson-tailed venom scorpion that appeared at the Copper Gate Bridge in Steel Eagle Country proved that although beasts at the Metamorphosis Realm are terrifyingly powerful, they still can't withstand bombardment from heavy conventional weapons. His mission was simply to do everything possible to stall the silver-scaled profound python before the reinforcements arrived, and prevent it from attacking the children at Sunshine Elementary. 10 minutes. Hearing this number, the young man with the chestnut haircut had a flash of resolve in his eyes. Seeing this, Chen Dao felt his heart sink. A sense of foreboding instantly washed over him. Qianze, what are you planning? At this moment, the silver-scaled profound python in the sky was quite pleased with its strike. It paid no more attention to these ants who had lost their fighting strength, and flew back towards the direction of the dormitory building. Qianze didn't answer Chen Dao's question. Instead, he asked in return, Captain Chen, how many grenades did we bring? Chen Dao replied instinctively, 13. But the next moment, he instantly realized. He looked at Qianze. You're not thinking of... No, absolutely not. There's no time, Captain Chen. My little sister is still in that dorm. Qianze smiled. He extended his right hand towards Chen Dao. Hand them over. Before the Cataclysm era began, I was disabled in the legs. I'm the only one here who can reach that beast in the sky. For the mission and for my sister, I have to do this. Hearing this, the other team members present were speechless, choked with emotion. With reddened eyes, Chen Dao handed over all the fragmentation grenades on him to Qianze. The other team members, also with reddened eyes, did the same. After receiving these 13 grenades, a smile spread across Qianze's lips. He looked up at the silver-scaled profound python in the sky, and let out a furious roar. Beast! Your old man Qian isn't dead yet. Running away? With that, he raised his rifle again, and unleashed another barrage at the silver-armored serpent dragon in the sky. Bang, bang, bang. The tickle-like attacks once again enraged the silver-armored serpent dragon. It let out a furious roar and flew back toward Qianze. Come and find your old man Qian. I've got a big gift for you, specially prepared just for you. Qianze laughed. As the silver-armored serpent dragon flew toward him, he leaped onto the roof of the guardhouse at the entrance, agile as a monkey. The silver-armored serpent dragon saw that Qianze not only didn't run, but instead seemed to be provoking it, instantly becoming furious. A faint silver light enveloped its body, ready to teach this ant before it a lesson. But just as it flew directly above Qianze, Qianze moved his hands. In an instant, he pulled the pins on all 13 grenades hanging on him. The next moment, Qianze pushed off with his legs, and shot straight up into the sky like a rocket. In the blink of an eye, he was already in front of the serpent dragon's head. The silver-armored serpent dragon only saw before it this human grinning at it. The next moment, intense flames exploded before its eyes. A deafening explosion instantly echoed throughout Jiangnan City. The silver-armored serpent dragon was caught off guard by this sudden blow, which left it seeing stars. Its entire head was blasted bloody, especially its pair of crimson eyes, now even more mangled. Intense pain racked the silver-armored serpent dragon, causing it to fly aimlessly through the sky. Fire! On the ground, Chen Dao, with teary eyes, shouted, leading the other team members. He aimed at the serpent dragon's head and opened fire. Countless bullets flew toward the head, its defenses breached, making the silver-armored serpent dragon scream in pain. At first glance, the situation seemed completely reversed. But what Chen Dao and the others didn't expect was that in less than 3 minutes, The silver-armored serpent dragon's mangled head was already nearly healed. Its crimson eyes reopened. Its gaze swept around, trying to find the young man who had injured it. But after searching for a while, found nothing. The furious silver-armored black dragon could only vent all its rage on the group of ants on the ground. With a low roar, its figure like a silver lightning bolt, it instantly arrived above the squad. The silver-armored black dragon half-clenched its claws in front of its chest. A ball of light mixed with terrifying thunder power instantly began to gather. How could its recovery speed be so fast? Chen Dao's face turned ashen. He could clearly feel that once that thunder ball was launched, their entire squad would be wiped out. And now, there were only 5 minutes left until support arrived. Defeat was inevitable. Even though Qianzi sacrificed himself so heroically, in the end, it still wasn't enough. Chen Dao felt unwilling. Only now did he truly realize what the opening of the mutation epoch meant. Strength. In the end, it all came down to strength. If he were also a powerhouse at the Linbian realm, would he still fear this little dragon before him? Chen Dao slowly closed his eyes. But after a long while, the imagined pain of being scorched by thunder did not come. Captain Chen, someone's here. At that moment, the excited voice of a teammate suddenly rang out. Has support arrived? Chen Dao's heart shook. He immediately opened his eyes, thinking that the military support had arrived in time. But when he opened his eyes, what happened before him made him freeze in shock. Under the moonlit sky, a figure stood prominently in midair, facing the silver-armored black dragon. The silver-armored black dragon looked at the man who suddenly appeared, a flash of anger unavoidably appearing in its eyes. I haven't finished teaching those ants on the ground a lesson yet. How come another obstacle pops up now? The silver-armored black dragon focused its mind, the thunderball in its hands already fully gathered. With a wave of its claws, the thunderball was suddenly launched. Carrying violent thunder power, it flew straight forward. A trivial trick, perfect for testing my 9 nether chaos body. The figure in midair was none other than Zhou Luo, who had come upon hearing the explosion. With his hands behind his back, facing the incoming violent thunderball, his expression remained unmoved, showing no fear at all. The thunderball flew extremely fast, instantly reaching Zhou Luo. A violent surge of thunderous power erupted in an instant, instantly creating a domain crackling with destructive lightning energy. The silver-scaled profound python watched this scene, a glint of satisfaction flashing in its eyes. This thunder sphere was a strike delivered with nearly its full power. That human who jumped out of nowhere definitely couldn't withstand it. Next, it would be time to feast on its bloody meal. The silver-scaled profound python was about to turn and leave, but right at that moment, a voice immediately sounded from behind it. You think you can leave? Did I agree to that? The silver-scaled profound python whirled its head around. It saw the lightning domain was now slowly dissipating, and at the center of the domain, the figure standing with hands behind its back remained. The 9 nether chaos body, impervious to all arts. His expression was calm, his breathing steady. Not a single trace of injury could be seen. How is this possible? The silver-scaled profound python was utterly shocked. I hear your python spine is quite good. In that case, why don't you leave it here for me to use as a weapon? Zhou Luo gave a faint smile. Not giving the silver-scaled profound python any chance to react, he immediately thrust out a palm. A palm imprint, nearly as large as the entire python, suddenly materialized. With lightning speed, it slammed fiercely onto the silver-scaled profound python's body. The python was sent crashing straight into the ground by this single palm strike. Its massive body smashed violently into the empty playground of Sunshine Elementary School, creating a huge crater. This scene left everyone present utterly dumbfounded. Whether teachers, students, or the members of Chen Dao's support team who had just arrived, all were stunned speechless. A silver-scaled profound python of such terrifying power couldn't even last one round against Zhou Luo? Just who is this person? The silver-scaled profound python, smashed into the crater, let out a roar of unwillingness. It still tried to struggle and rise, but Zhou Luo gave it no opportunity. He appeared directly above the python, grabbing hold of its vital spot. Still trying to struggle? Who gave you the courage? Zhou Luo smiled slightly. Then, his right hand shot forward. A phantom hand suddenly grasped the python's head. With a sickening times rip, the phantom hand exerted tremendous force. The silver-scaled profound python couldn't resist in the slightest. Its spine was ripped out. Only the headless python body remained, twitching in the giant crater as if unwilling to die like this. After the silver-armored mystic python's spine was extracted, it gradually began to shrink. Eventually, along with the python's head, it transformed into a gleaming silver spear. The python's head became the spearhead. The python's spine became the shaft. The entire spear exuded an aura of solemnity and killing intent at first glance. Not bad. Indeed, it's no ordinary item. Zhou Luo hefted the silver python spear in his hand a couple of times. He was quite satisfied in his heart. You see, after the age of mutation began, the factors that determine a person's strength aren't just their cultivation level. How many treasures one possesses is also a crucial factor in one's strength. Zhou Luo still remembers. In his previous life, there were no shortage of people with healthy bodies but average talent. But precisely because they had extremely good luck, they obtained some heaven and earth treasures, which greatly boosted their strength and eventually dominated a region. To become the strongest person in the world, such treasures must never be overlooked. Although this silver python spear can't be called a supreme treasure, but at this current point in time, it's still considered a rare treasure. Zhou Luo slung the silver python spear behind his back. His gaze then turned to Sunshine Elementary School on the ground. After this great battle, Sunshine Elementary School was in complete disarray everywhere. But fortunately, the dormitory area was still relatively intact, and the students were all safe and sound. When Zhou Luo looked at the group of children, the children also turned their gazes toward Zhou Luo. In countless pairs of eyes shining with innocence were now filled with admiration. For the rest of their lives, they probably won't forget what happened today. The young man with the chestnut hair who sacrificed himself heroically, and Zhou Luo before them, these two are their great heroes. Among these children, Zhou Luo also clearly sensed a different gaze. After searching for a while, his sight finally settled on a little girl. The little girl had obvious tear stains on her cheeks. The look she gave Zhou Luo wasn't just admiration, it was also mixed with a certain gratitude. Interesting. Zhou Luo committed the little girl's face to memory. Then, he prepared to leave. The silver-armored mystic python was dead. He had more important things to do next. Zhou Luo's figure gradually faded into the distance. After he completely disappeared from everyone's sight, it took Chen Dao a moment to process what had happened. He quickly dialed headquarters. This is Chen Dao. The silver-armored profound python that appeared at Sunshine Elementary School has been dealt with by a mysterious individual. After leaving Sunshine Elementary, Zhou Luo, carrying the silver python spear, quickly returned to his apartment building. His next task was to quickly refine this silver python spear in his hands. After the era of mutation began, the first major opportunity to descend upon Jiangnan City was the Southern Mountains' secret realm. 3 days later, memories flashed through Zhou Luo's mind. The Southern Mountains' secret realm was a famously great opportunity in his past life, after the era of mutation began. The secret realm held countless treasures, but the most precious among them was an innate supreme treasure called the Nine Suns Bagua Plate. In his past life, the one who obtained the Nine Suns Bagua Plate was Wu Qun, later known to the world as the Bagua Armor Celestial. Before obtaining the Nine Suns Bagua Plate, he was just a rookie in the initial realm. It was precisely because the Southern Mountains secret realm opened on the 3rd day after the era of mutation descended, when people still didn't understand what these secret realms were, that Wu Qun obtained the Nine Suns Bagua Plate purely by luck. Otherwise, how could the Nine Suns Bagua Plate, which could unleash the world's strongest defensive formation, the Bagua Heaven Formation Array, have fallen into his hands? Later, relying on the Bagua Heaven Formation Array, when 5 mutant beast kings simultaneously besieged Jiangnan City, Wu Qiyun single-handedly withstood the full force attacks of the 5 Taboo Realm mutant beast kings and rose to fame. He was hailed by the world as the Bagua Armor Celestial. Initial Realm, Approaching Change Realm, Divine Marvel Realm, Spirit Transformation Realm, Taboo Realm. These were the 5 cultivation realms established by the heavenly Daos while after the era of mutation began. As for what came after the Taboo Realm, even Zhou Luo didn't know, because when he died at the Lu Corporation's mine, no one in the world had yet broken through the Taboo Realm. The Nine Suns Bagua Plate. I must get my hands on it. A strange light flashed in Zhou Luo's eyes. He took a deep breath. Zhou Luo's gaze returned to the silver spear in his hand. With a thought, a strand of consciousness sprang from his mind and shot straight into the silver python spear. As his consciousness entered the silver serpent spear, Zhou Luo first sensed a wave of hatred. You little serpent sure hold a grudge. Even in death, you refuse to fall into my hands? A faint smile curled at the corner of Zhou Luo's mouth. His tone was playful. But it's a shame. Now that you're in my possession, you will obey me. As soon as he finished speaking, the lingering consciousness of the silver-armored profound serpent within the spear was instantly shattered. This was the power granted to Zhou Luo by his 9 nether chaos body, spirit into void. To put it bluntly, in this world today, there is absolutely no one whose soul can rival Zhou Luo's in strength. After shattering the serpent's consciousness, Zhou Luo began refining the silver serpent spear. With no resistance from the silver-armored profound serpent, the refinement process went incredibly smoothly. In just half an hour, the spear was imprinted with his soul mark. Only at this moment did Zhou Luo truly feel the spear had become his. It felt like an extension of his own arm. Excellent. The silver serpent spear is fully refined. Now I need to focus on cultivation. Zhou Luo put the spear away, and immediately sat cross-legged on the ground. For someone with a 9-nether chaos body, when it comes to cultivation speed, if he claims to be second, no one dares claim to be first. Zhou Luo was confident. Even Gu Qianhua from his past life, who mastered all 5 cancers, couldn't match his speed. 3 days should be enough to break through to the 7th level of the liminal realm. Zhou Luo murmured to himself, but then he thought of something, and couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It's just a pity I don't have a powerful breathing technique yet. Otherwise, forget the liminal realm. Breaking through to the divine marvel realm wouldn't be impossible. A good breathing technique allows for more efficient absorption of heaven and earth's spiritual energy. Never mind, I'll think about it later. The birth of that ultimate breathing technique is still some time away. Preparing for the Southern Mountain secret realm is the priority now. Zhou Luo focused his mind and began voraciously absorbing the surrounding spiritual energy, while Zhou Luo was cultivating diligently in Jiangnan City. Within the Lu Corporation, Lu Ruyan had left her wheelchair. She was now sitting cross-legged on the floor, sensing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. A moment later, she slowly opened her eyes. Damn it. Damn Zhou Luo. If it weren't for him, how could my Calamity Saint body be so damaged? On Lu Ruyan's exquisitely beautiful face was now filled with resentment. The day before the mutation era descended, the genetic disease within her had already been treated with the Tianshan Snow Lotus, and was nearly 50% healed. This was originally something Lu Ruyan had longed for, but when the heavenly Taos will inform the world that the mutation era was about to descend, Lu Ruyan almost lost her mind. Especially after the mutation era truly descended, she also realized at that moment that she could have become the legendary Calamity Saint body, with a cultivation speed thousands of times faster than ordinary people. But all of this was ruined by Zhou Luo. Several courses of the Tianshan Snow Lotus damaged her Calamity Saint body, turning it into the current incomplete version. Not only did her cultivation speed slow down by more than half, but also the various talents unique to the Calamity Saint body disappeared as well. If it weren't for the most crucial talent of the Calamity Saint body, the ability to resurrect, she would have really gone to confront Zhou Luo with a knife. However, precisely because the Calamity Saint body is incomplete, she can only use this talent once. After one use, it will completely lose its power. Father, have you found where Zhou Luo is? At the thought of this, Lu Ruyan was filled with anger. Her cold gaze instantly turned to Lu Kailong beside her. Lu Kailong was stared at by Lu Ruyan until he was sweating profusely. He hurriedly shook his head and said, "Our people have already found the place he used to live. But that house was already a month ago, mortgaged out by Zhou Luo. Moreover, during this time, Zhou Luo hasn't returned even once. Whether he's still in Jiangnan City now is all a question." Lu Kailong's tone was somewhat uncertain. "Then check his bank statements. No matter where he goes, he'll need money, right?" Lu Ruyan said through clenched teeth. She truly hates Zhou Luo to the core. At this moment, she could have relied on the Calamity Saint body to dominate in this newly arrived mutation era and become one of the strongest in the world. But it's all because of Zhou Luo. All of this was shattered. Even Lu Ruyan began to suspect that Zhou Luo had known the Legion epoch was coming all along and had come early to trick her. But that suspicion was just too far-fetched, so Lu Ruyan didn't dwell on it. Lu Kailong sighed. "There's a problem with the bank. We can't reach any of our people there. There's no way to investigate. Ever since the Legion epoch descended, the world has basically fallen into chaos." He could clearly foresee that it wouldn't be long before the old order completely collapsed. Strength will be the only real currency from now on. As for Zhou Luo destroying Lu Ruyan's Calamity Saint body, Lu Kailong hated him to the extreme. If he could find Zhou Luo, he would never let him off easily. Just then, the office door was suddenly knocked. "Mr. Lu, the person you're looking for, we found him." Hearing this, both Lu Ruyan and Lu Kailong perked up. The secretary entered, carrying a laptop. On the laptop screen, a video was playing. In the video, a young man stood with his hands behind his back, mid-air. Facing him was a massive silver flood dragon. Then, the young man in the video casually threw a palm strike towards the silver dragon. A gigantic palm imprint materialized in the sky and slammed violently into the dragon's body. The enormous dragon, with its terrifying aura, was actually sent crashing into the ground by that single palm strike. Next came the scene of the young man forcibly extracting the dragon's spine. Probably due to the long filming distance, the video wasn't very clear, but these scenes were still shocking to behold. Most importantly, Both Lu Kailong and Lu Ruyan recognized who the young man was that killed the dragon so effortlessly. Zhou Luo. Lu Kailong's eyes widened. His face was full of disbelief. Lu Ruyan's stunning eyes were also filled with shock. How is he so strong? She never expected that Zhou Luo, who seemed perfectly healthy, would become so terrifyingly powerful. After the Legion epoch arrived, this was far more formidable than her own Calamity Saint body. Although her current Calamity Saint body is an incomplete version, Lu Ruyan could clearly sense that even if her Calamity Saint body were complete, it would still be no match for the Zhou Luo in the video. Lu Kailong gritted his teeth and said, "My daughter, it seems we can't stick to the original plan. Since Zhou Luo is so powerful, we have no choice but to cozy up to him and wait for the right moment to strike. Anyway, our Lu group has cooperated with him once. I even gave him $100 million. That counts for something." After hearing Lu Kailong's words, Lu Ruyan could only nod silently. She wasn't stupid. She knew when to pick her battles. Now, Zhou Luo was clearly leagues ahead of her. If she wanted revenge, she'd have to wait until she got stronger, strong enough to surpass him. Until then, she'd just have to endure it. Seeing Lu Ruyan didn't object, Lu Kailong breathed a sigh of relief. He turned to his secretary. "Find me Zhou Luo's contact information. I'll pay him a personal visit." Inside the apartment building, Zhou Luo was cultivating. His phone, lying nearby, suddenly rang. He picked it up and looked. It was a call from the Lu group. Seeing this, a playful smile curled at the corner of his mouth. Then he pressed the answer button. "This is Zhou Luo. What is it?" Lu Kailong's voice immediately came through. Great, it really is Mr. Zhou. This is Lu Kailong. I've been looking for you these past few days, wanting to repay you for curing my daughter. I finally found you." Lu Kailong's voice sounded extremely excited. Hearing this, Zhou Luo couldn't help but feel amused. Perfect. He had planned to visit the Lu group soon anyway, to get rid of Lu Ruyan and Lu Kailong. Now they're delivering themselves to my door. Thinking this, Zhou Luo replied with a smile. "Mr. Lu, how do you plan to repay me?" A response quickly came from the other end. "The debt we owe you is too great to be settled over the phone. Mr. Zhou, how about this? Tell us your address, and I'll bring my daughter to visit you in person." As soon as Lu Kailong finished speaking, Zhou Luo agreed immediately. "Sure, I'll send you my location. I'll be waiting for you here." On the other end of the line, after receiving the location from Zhou Luo, Lu Kailong grinned from ear to ear. "I knew it. Zhou Luo really does have his eye on our Lu group. The goodwill we've shown him to be able to connect with someone of his caliber. The future of our Lu group is undoubtedly bright." Lu Kailong was in high spirits. He smiled at Lu Ruyan. "Come on, daughter. Let's go pay Zhou Luo a visit. Now, you must remember this. Don't show any hatred in front of him. Once you've improved your strength, we'll get our revenge." Lu Ruyan nodded slowly. "Father, I know what I'm doing. I won't let Zhou Luo notice a thing." "Good. Then let's not waste any time. We'll leave right away." Lu Kailong gave a slight smile and quickly left the Lu group with Lu Ruyan. Half an hour later, someone knocked on Zhou Luo's door. "Mr. Zhou, it's Lu Kailong. My daughter, Lu Ruyan, and I are here to see you." As Lu Kailong's voice rang out, before long, the door opened from the inside. When he saw Zhou Luo, Lu Kailong immediately put on a big smile. "Mr. Zhou, you've finally opened the door." Seeing him like this, Zhou Luo couldn't help but find it amusing. Before the Cataclysm era descended, the Lu group was one of the largest enterprises in Jiangnan City. Out and about, no one dared to disrespect Lu Kailong. And yet, this very chairman with immense wealth was now bowing and scraping before him with a beaming smile. Zhou Luo secretly sighed. All of this was brought about by strength. He didn't need to think to know. It must have been when he slew the dragon at Sunshine Elementary and someone filmed it and posted it online. That's why Lu Kailong and the others saw it and came looking for him so proactively. But that's fine. Lu Kailong and Lu Ruyan coming to him on their own saved him some trouble. "Mr. Zhou." Seeing that Zhou Luo hadn't spoken for a while, Lu Kailong immediately wanted to use his prepared speech to get closer. But before he could finish, Zhou Luo cut him off. "Chairman Lu, you must have seen me at Sunshine Elementary killing that silver-armored profound python. That's why you came looking for me, right?" Zhou Luo's directness threw Lu Kailong completely off guard. But he recovered quickly and immediately said, "Mr. Zhou, that scene of you slaying the dragon has spread all over the internet now. What a young hero, so full of vigor and spirit." Zhou Luo continued to look at Lu Kailong, a faint smile playing on his lips. And then, Seeing this, Lu Kailong's heart skipped a beat. Had he said something wrong? Just as the situation was about to become awkward, Lu Ruyan, standing to the side, immediately stepped forward. She looked at Zhou Luo with a beaming smile. Mr. Zhou, you saved my life. All these days, I've been thinking of how to repay you. But no matter how much I think, I can't come up with a way. So I thought I'd come ask you in person. As she spoke, Lu Ruyan took another step closer to Zhou Luo. Her eyes were full of affection, her cheeks flushed. Her watery, beautiful eyes were fixed intently on Zhou Luo. Tell me, how should I repay you? I will do my utmost to fulfill it. A wave of her maidenly fragrance wafted over. Zhou Luo looked at Lu Ruyan before him and couldn't help but click his tongue in his mind. As expected of the demon emperor Lu Ruyan, she'll stop at nothing to achieve her goals. If I weren't a reincarnator, I really might have been fooled by this act of hers, willingly becoming one of her devoted followers. After all, although Lu Ruyan is ruthless, her looks were universally acknowledged as the best in the world in my past life. This woman must not be allowed to live. Zhou Luo took a step back, cleared his throat lightly, and his gaze also turned to Lu Ruyan. A playful smile curled at the corner of his mouth. Speaking of repayment, there is something I'd like to ask of you. What is it? Please, go ahead. I will definitely accomplish it. Lu Ruyan was overjoyed, but her expression remained unchanged. She still wore that shy, beautiful maidenly look. Since you're so sincere, I'll be direct. A flash of cold intent passed through Zhou Luo's eyes. His tone instantly turned icy. I want to send you to your grave. As soon as the words fell, a gleaming silver spear suddenly appeared in Zhou Luo's hand, its tip like a serpent's head, its shaft like a serpent's spine. An ordinary person need only glance at it to feel a chilling, murderous intent. At this moment, Lu Ruyan's heart surged with an ominous premonition. She tried to retreat, but the next second, several sprays of blood splattered across the wall. It all took less than 10 seconds. The Lu group would cease to exist from this moment on. After finishing this, Zhou Luo felt incredibly satisfied. On a personal level, he had essentially gotten his revenge. On a public level, he had rid the world of a great scourge. In this life, the tragedy of Chuha City from his past life would never happen again. After confirming that Lu Ruyan and Lu Kailong were truly dead, Zhou Luo didn't linger any longer. He left the apartment he had just bought. The age of mutation had begun. Things like houses weren't as important as they used to be. As long as he had enough power, he could go wherever he pleased. After Zhou Luo left, about an hour later, in the hallway, Lu Ruyan, who had stopped breathing, suddenly emitted a dark light from within her body. The dark light quickly spread across her entire form, beginning to repair every wound, internal and external. Before long, all her wounds were completely healed. Lu Ruyan slowly opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was Lu Kailong's corpse beside her, staring wide-eyed in death, and the blood-stained walls all around. Memories flooded back into her mind. Lu Ruyan's beautiful face gradually contorted. Resentment and fury, and all sorts of negative emotions began to brew within her. Zhou Luo, I, Lu Ruyan, swear I will have my vengeance. She gritted her teeth so hard that blood seeped from the corners of her mouth. She screamed hysterically. Just then, the door to Zhou Luo's neighbor's apartment suddenly opened. A shirtless, burly man stepped out. Who the hell is making all that noise? Let people get some sleep. As soon as he emerged, the shocking scene before him froze him in his tracks. Murder. Before the man could even cry out, Lu Ruyan's eyes turned cold. In an instant, she was right in front of him. Her right hand clamped around his neck. With a sickening crack, his spine was instantly crushed. After killing one person, Lu Ruyan felt no remorse whatsoever. She didn't even glance at the man's corpse. She simply walked straight to Lu Kailong's body. Silently, she picked him up. Then she stepped into the elevator. 2 days had passed. Inside a room, Zhou Luo sat cross-legged on the floor. With each breath he took, the spiritual energy of the world around him continuously flowed into his body. Then, reaching a critical point, his dantian suddenly trembled. He had smoothly broken through to the 7th level of the transformation realm. Although his realm had advanced, Zhou Luo still felt somewhat dissatisfied because he could sense that his 9 nether chaos body's ability to absorb and expel spiritual energy was terrifyingly efficient. But he just didn't have a good breathing technique to assist in the conversion. Zhou Luo shook his head. He felt a pang of regret. If he had a good breathing technique, his current realm would definitely be higher than the 7th level of transformation. The Southern Mountain's secret realm is about to open. I hope there's a decent breathing technique inside. Zhou Luo stood up. After brushing the dust off his clothes, he headed straight out the door. After leaving his building, Zhou Luo looked up at the sky. In the sky not far away, the clouds had split open into a massive fissure. Countless golden rays of light were shining out from within the crack. The spot where the golden light shone was directly south of Jiangnan City. A great mountain, known locally as Chi Nan Mountain, That was where the Southern Mountain secret realm would open. There's still time. Let me go online and see what's happened in the world. During these 2 days I was in seclusion. In this life, with my existence as a variable, I wonder if events will unfold the same as in my past life. With a thought, Zhou Luo immediately picked up his phone. After looking for a while, a flicker of joy couldn't help but cross his face. It seems my rebirth hasn't caused any changes. For him, this was a great thing. Since everything in the world remains unchanged, the benefits of being a reincarnator were immense. Being able to foresee certain events could bring him tremendous advantages. However, there was one key difference. Among the major powers rapidly rising within Great Xia, the name Lu Corporation was missing. Instead, there was an organization he didn't recognize. Now, 2 days had passed since the day the Cataclysm era began. During these 2 days, people gradually came to accept this sudden, bizarre change. Among them, many major powers with powerful awakened ones presiding over them rose swiftly. Among them, the one gaining the most momentum is the Gu family of the Bailey Group, the Skull Society, the Jiangnan Villa, and the Great Xia Alliance. The Bailey Group is anchored by a powerful awakened known as the Black Feather King. Zhou Luo had heard much about him in his past life. News archives said that before the Cataclysm era began, this Black Feather Lord suffered from an extremely rare mutated bone cancer. He lived in agony every day until the Cataclysm era began. A pair of massive wings covered in black feathers suddenly sprouted from the Black Feather King's back. His power was utterly terrifying, especially in terms of speed. He was even hailed as the #1 speedster in Great Xia. As for the Gu family's rise, it was thanks to their patriarch, Gu Qianhua, who had cancer in all 5 organs. After the Cataclysm era began, the 5 cancerous organs within his body instantly transformed into organs of an immortal. Truly, terrifying to the extreme. As for the Skull Society, Zhou Luo only knew it was an organization formed by many psychopathic awakened. Even in his past life, they were everywhere, committing evil and plundering resources. The Great Xia Alliance, he knew, was an official organization rapidly established by Great Xia after the Cataclysm era began. But what the hell is this Jiangnan Villa? Zhou Luo's gaze fell on his phone screen. On the 4 large characters, Jiangnan Villa. According to his memory, he didn't seem to have heard of any Jiangnan Villa in his past life. Moreover, from the sound of the name, it seems like they're also an organization from Jiangnan City. That makes even less sense. An organization from Jiangnan City. How could I not have heard of it? Could this have something to do with the Lu Group? After pondering for a while, Zhou Luo finally figured it out. Perhaps in his past life, the Jiangnan Villa was destroyed by Lu Ruyan, who possessed the Calamity Saint body before it became famous, or was directly absorbed under the Lu Group's banner. That's precisely why Zhou Luo had never heard the name Jiangnan Villa. But in this life, Zhou Luo directly killed Lu Ruyan and her father before the Lu Group could even rise, indirectly paving the way for the Jiangnan Villa. That's a kind of butterfly effect, I guess. I wonder if the factions coming to the Nanshan secret realm this time will be different from my past life. A sudden thought occurred to Zhou Luo. In the Nanshan secret realm of his past life, the only factions that participated were the Lu Corporation and the Great Xia Alliance. In this life, the Lu Corporation has already fallen. Logically, things should have changed, but it doesn't really matter. With Zhou Luo's current strength, even if the top experts from all the major factions came, they'd be no match for him. Collecting his thoughts, Zhou Luo swiftly flew towards Mount Qinan. After about 20 minutes, he finally reached the foot of Mount Qinan. A huge crowd had already gathered there. Zhou Luo just gave them a quick glance and judged that most were awakened. Why are there so many people? In the past life's Nanshan secret realm, hardly anyone participated, right? Looking at the massive crowd before him, Zhou Luo narrowed his eyes slightly. He was a bit puzzled. Just as he was thinking, a commotion arose in the crowd not far away. The people from the Bailey Group are here. The one walking at the front must be the sister of the Black Feather King. Lu Yue, right? That's her. I heard the strange illness on the Black Feather King is hereditary. His sister's condition is a bit milder than his, but she still has 60% of his strength. Hearing the discussions from the people nearby, Zhou Luo also looked towards the front of that crowd. The most eye-catching one was a woman wearing a black gauze dress. She didn't look very old, probably only around 20. The sister of the Black Feather King. Zhou Luo watched Lu Yue walking straight towards them, a thoughtful gleam flashing in his eyes. He had indeed heard of her in his past life, but definitely not in relation to the Nanshan secret realm. And in the past life's Nanshan secret realm, there was absolutely no trace of the Bailey Group. It seems the collapse of the Lu Corporation has indeed caused some changes in the world line, but it's no big deal. No matter who comes, the biggest winner of this Nanshan secret realm will be him, Zhou Luo, alone, because only he knows Who it was that, in this Nanshan's secret realm, ultimately obtained the Nine Suns Bagua plate. As long as he finds Wu Qian, the Nine Suns Bagua plate will change hands. Thinking of this, Zhou Luo withdrew his gaze. No longer looking in Lu Yuer's direction, he prepared to search the crowd for Wu Qiyun's figure. In his past life, he had seen Wu Qiyun on TV more than once, so he was very clear about his appearance. With the enhanced vision granted by his current liminal realm, and his ninefold nether chaos body, as long as Wu Qiyun came to the scene, he would absolutely not escape Zhou Luo's notice. Just as Zhou Luo was about to start searching for Wu Qiyun, suddenly, the crowd standing beside him rapidly retreated backward. Soon, the area around Zhou Luo became completely empty. Only he remained standing quietly in place. The reason was simple. Because the Bailey group, led by Lu Yuer, was approaching this area. The onlookers around all tactfully made way, clearing a path for the Bailey group to pass. Only Zhou Luo remained standing still, not moving an inch, causing many to cast sidelong glances at him. What's this kid spacing out for? The Bailey group is about to come through, and he dares to stand in their way? What a complete blockhead. He dares to offend the Bailey group? It wasn't that long ago that the Black Feather King purged Mount Tai City. Fight, fight, fight. Perfect chance to see the Bailey group's methods for myself. Brother, come over here, quick. Stop spacing out. The bystanders immediately began whispering among themselves. These voices, naturally, all fell upon Zhou Luo's ears. Yet he showed not the slightest intention of backing down. In his past life, due to insufficient strength, he had endured enough humiliation. Now, reborn in this life, if he still had to yield at every turn, then Zhou Luo felt he might as well find a block of tofu to crash into and die. From the day he was reborn, Zhou Luo had secretly sworn to himself, in this life, others would yield to him, not the other way around. The well-meaning words of those around him did not make Zhou Luo move an inch. And in just those few moments, the people from the Bailey group had already arrived before Zhou Luo. The leader, Lu Yuer, seeing Zhou Luo standing perfectly still, not even sparing a glance at her Bailey group, narrowed her cool, clear eyes slightly. Are you blind? You dare block the path of our Bailey group? Are you? A lean, wiry man beside Lu Yuer immediately stepped forward, ready to teach Zhou Luo a proper lesson. But Lu Yuer directly reached out and stopped him. Stand down. Lu Yuer's red lips parted slightly. The lean man immediately halted his steps, but judging by his expression, he still seemed somewhat unconvinced. Lu Yuer paid him no mind. He simply took a silent step forward, approached Zhou Luo and asked, "Which faction do you belong to, sir?" Zhou Luo replied plainly, "I'm just a lone wolf." Upon hearing this, the onlookers couldn't sit still again. I thought this guy was from some major faction too, daring to block the path of the Bailey group. Turns out he's just a nobody. Hearing Zhou Luo call himself a lone wolf, Lu Yuer's violet eyes flickered slightly. Then she turned her head and waved to her subordinates. "Leave him be. Let's go." The group immediately split in two, passing by Zhou Luo's sides. This move completely stunned the crowd. Lu Yuer actually let him off? Is that for real? Since when is the Bailey group so soft? They can't even handle some kid blocking their way. Everyone was puzzled. After all, just yesterday, news came from Taishan City that the Black Feather King led the Bailey group and completely wiped out all the local forces in Taishan City. Anyone unwilling to submit to the Bailey group was ruthlessly suppressed. A group with such ruthless methods actually let Zhou Luo go today after he blocked their path? What's going on? Seeing that Lu Yuer didn't intend to cause trouble for him, Zhou Luo couldn't help but take another look at her. If Lu Yuer had dared to order her people to attack earlier, he would have crushed the Bailey group without hesitation. However, since Lu Yuer didn't do that, Zhou Luo was happy to avoid the trouble. The Bailey group members soon all passed by Zhou Luo. Right at that moment, high in the distant sky, a dark shadow suddenly appeared. Then, the shadow grew larger as it approached. Finally, it transformed into a handsome man in everyone's sight. "Yuer dear." The man landed right beside Lu Yuer. The onlookers immediately recognized the identity of this handsome man. It's the third young master of Jiangnan Villa, Ruan Yanfeng. So Jiangnan Villa is here too. I knew it. With such strange phenomena appearing on Qinan Mountain, how could the local powerhouse Jiangnan Villa not be involved? I heard even before the Cataclysm era began, Jiangnan Villa and the Bailey group were old allies. Seems that rumor is true. After landing, Ruan Yanfeng smiled and asked Lu Yuer, "Yuer, why are you the only one who came today? Where's your brother?" "My brother had other urgent matters to attend to, so I'm the only one who came." Lu Yuer's tone was flat and emotionless. It seemed she wasn't buying Ruan Yanfeng's show of attentiveness. But Ruan Yanfeng didn't seem to mind at all. He just nodded slightly and said, "That's fine. My family only sent me as well, to check on the situation at Qinan Mountain. Now the two of us can join forces." After saying that, he turned his gaze towards Zhou Luo in the distance. A faint smile played on his lips. Yue, I saw what happened earlier. This guy dared to block your way. How about I go teach him a lesson for you? Hearing this, Lu Yue couldn't help but frown. Before I came, my brother warned me. It's better to avoid trouble. Just leave this matter alone. Don't worry, Yue. I just broke through to the 6th level of the initial realm yesterday. My strength might not compare to your brother's, but teaching a punk a lesson shouldn't be a problem. Ruan Yanfeng flashed what he thought was a dashing smile. Wait here for me. I'll be right back. With that, he strode towards Zhou Luo, not caring whether Lu Yue agreed or not. He strode directly towards Zhou Luo. Seeing this, Zhou Luo couldn't help but frown slightly. He had just thought he could have a moment of peace, but then this bootlicker suddenly shows up. But that's fine, since this young Master Ruan from Jiangnan Villa is looking for death, he wouldn't mind sending him on his way. Then he'd wipe out Jiangnan Villa along with him. That way, the timeline would match up with my previous life. Damn, I'm a genius. The corner of Zhou Luo's mouth lifted slightly. He turned to look at Ruan Yanfeng, who was walking towards him. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Ruan Yanfeng quickly walked up to Zhou Luo. Because I got to see Yue today, I'm in a good mood. Ruan Yanfeng narrowed his slender eyes slightly. He stared at Zhou Luo and said calmly, I'll give you one choice. If you want to live, go kneel and apologize to Yue, and I'll spare your life. If you don't want to live, then I'll kill you. Ruan Yanfeng's tone was very calm, but after hearing his words, everyone present broke out in a cold sweat. All eyes turned to Zhou Luo at that moment, wanting to know what choice he would make. But most people already had an answer in their hearts. He'll definitely choose to kneel and apologize. As long as Zhou Luo isn't a fool, this is the only path left for him. Otherwise, does he choose death? See? Pride comes before a fall. He was just standing there motionless, refusing to make way for the Bailey group. Everyone's expressions shifted to one of eager anticipation for the drama. Listening to the surrounding chatter, a faint smile tugged at the corner of Ruan Yanfeng's mouth. This was exactly the effect he wanted. Now, with the dawn of the mutation era, their Jiangnan Villa, as the most powerful force in Jiangnan City, must properly establish its authority. Before coming to investigate the anomaly at Qinan Mountain, his eldest brother had given him strict instructions. No matter what happened at Qinan Mountain today, he had to make a big scene to make sure everyone under heaven knew the name of their Jiangnan Villa, so that in the future, whenever people see members of Jiangnan Villa, they'll show the utmost respect. Otherwise, Zhou Luo today will be their example. That was his real goal. Making way was just an excuse. Zhou Luo looked at the arrogant Ruan Yanfeng before him, and asked calmly, is there no third option? No, kneel. Or die. Choose one. Ruan Yanfeng narrowed his eyes slightly, his displeasure growing. It's already generous of me to offer you a way out, and yet you still try to bargain? He decided. If Zhou Luo remained ungrateful, if he didn't kneel immediately, then he would personally send him to his grave. Just as this thought crossed his mind, he suddenly realized a gleaming silver spear had pierced his chest. Ruan Yanfeng's eyes widened. He tried to speak, but a surge of blood suddenly filled his throat. The light in his pupils began to fade. In mere milliseconds, his life was extinguished. Zhou Luo pulled out the silver serpent spear and said calmly, this is the third option. At the foot of Qinan Mountain. Only his voice echoed at that moment. Everyone present was deeply shocked by what had just unfolded before their eyes. So fast, unbelievably fast. From the moment Zhou Luo drew his spear, until Ruan Yanfeng was killed, it took less than a second. They didn't even see how Zhou Luo produced the silver serpent spear. Now, the hearts of all present were filled with nothing but shock. One by one, their gazes toward Zhou Luo turned into looks one would give a mock. Those guys who were just mocking Zhou Luo are now dead silent. They don't dare make a single sound, terrified that Zhou Luo might come after them. Not far away, Lu Yuer's beautiful eyes are now filled with nothing but shock and confusion. Just who is Zhou Luo? Her gaze never left Zhou Luo and Ruan Yanfeng the entire time. With her current cultivation at the 7th level of the initial realm, she should be among the strongest people present. She should be one of those at the peak, right after the Cataclysm era began. Yet even so, she still couldn't see how Zhou Luo managed to kill Ruan Yanfeng. There was no motion of drawing a weapon. It was like blinking, and the tip of the silver serpent spear had already pierced Ruan Yanfeng's heart. It's absolutely terrifying. Lu Yue now feels immensely relieved about the choice she made earlier. Thank goodness she didn't act like an idiot and insist that Zhou Luo move aside. Otherwise, she's certain the person lying there now would most likely not be Ruan Yanfeng, but herself. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Zhou Luo focused his mind. The silver serpent spear in his hand suddenly began to shrink, and was finally tucked into his sleeve. This is one effect after refining the silver serpent spear. It can change size according to Zhou Luo's will. Witnessing this magic trick-like effect, the onlookers were once again deeply shocked. Such an ability, before the Cataclysm era arrived, they had only seen on TV or in novels. How come, as soon as the Cataclysm era begins, abilities that only existed in myths appear in reality? Feeling the astonished gazes around him, Zhou Luo remained perfectly calm inside. This size-changing ability isn't actually that rare, it's just that the Cataclysm era has just begun, and most people don't know about it yet. The true sacred artifacts in this world can be absorbed directly into the body. That's way more impressive than just changing size. Take the Nine Suns Bagua plate in the Southern Mountain Secret Realm, for example. It has that function. After putting away the Silver Serpent Spear, Zhou Luo continued searching for Wu Qian. By his estimate, it's been some time since the Southern Mountain Secret Realm opened. Wu Qian must be hiding in the crowd right now. We have to find him. Otherwise, we'll miss this perfect chance to get our hands on a supreme innate treasure. Whether by coincidence or not, as Zhou Luo scanned the crowd, he immediately spotted a familiar face. Not far from Zhou Luo, in the throng of people, a skinny old man with a goatee was sizing him up. Seeing Zhou Luo turn his gaze toward him, Goatee quickly looked away, afraid Zhou Luo had noticed him. But it was already too late. Zhou Luo's eyes lit up. Found him. That old man with the goatee was the Wu Qiyun he was looking for. In his past life, this old man was a regular on the Great Xia Alliance's interview shows, so his face was already etched in Zhou Luo's memory. After locating Wu Qiyun, Zhou Luo didn't stare at him. Instead, he shifted his gaze away, as if he had just casually glanced in Wu Qiyun's direction. Sure enough, once Zhou Luo looked away, Wu Qiyun breathed a deep sigh of relief. Can't blame him. The power Zhou Luo just displayed was utterly terrifying. If a ruthless guy like that set his sights on you, you wouldn't want to stick around for the fun. You'd get out of there, fast. Things settled down. After Ruan Yanfeng's death, no one dared to look down on Zhou Luo anymore. No one even dared to get close to him. This resulted in the bustling foot of South Qi Mountain, now having a very unnatural patch of empty space. In that space, aside from Zhou Luo and Ruan Yanfeng's corpse, there was nothing else. Zhou Luo was naturally happy with the peace and quiet. Sure, it made him stand out a bit, but at least no one would dare bother him now. Not far away, Lu Yuer watched Zhou Luo, his expression calm as he gazed at South Qi Mountain ahead. Her beautiful eyes flickered slightly. After a moment's thought, she took light steps, slowly walking toward Zhou Luo. Miss, a subordinate behind her tried to speak up, but was immediately silenced by a sharp look from Lu Yuer. Soon, Lu Yuer arrived at Zhou Luo's side. Sir, Yuer was rude earlier. I've come specifically to apologize. She spoke slowly, her voice clear and lovely, a mature, commanding voice. Zhou Luo saw that Lu Yuer had actually come to apologize to him. He couldn't help but take another look at her. This woman is not simple. She hadn't even provoked him earlier. Yet here she was, apologizing to him under everyone's watchful eyes. Her goal? Zhou Luo could naturally see it too. Lu Yuer wanted to befriend him, but Zhou Luo didn't want to get involved with anything else right now. He'd get the primordial treasure, the Nine Suns Bagua plate, first. Alright, you can go. Zhou Luo waved his hand, signaling for Lu Yuer to leave. Seeing this, Lu Yuer showed not a hint of displeasure on her face. Instead, she gave a slight nod. Yuer will take her leave. With that, she turned and went back on her own. This scene had everyone's eyes practically popping out of their heads. The young lady of the Bailey group came to apologize to him, and he wasn't the least bit polite about it. If you were as tough as him, you could be too. Is this what it means to be strong? Tell me, who's more badass, him or Lu Yuer's brother, the Black Feather King? Is that even a question? It's definitely the Black Feather King. The Black Feather King is one of the 5 great powerhouses of the Xia Empire. We don't even know this guy's name. If he were really that powerful, how could he have zero reputation? You have a point. The murmurs of discussion reached Lu Yuer's ears. She didn't deny that claim. In her view, while Zhou Luo was strong, he was definitely no match for her brother. That incredibly fast speed Zhou Luo used to kill Ruan Yanfeng. Her brother could have done it too. As time passed, everyone's attention gradually shifted away from Zhou Luo and her, returning to the mutated Qi Nan Mountain before them. The golden divine light piercing through the clouds was about to completely envelop Qi Nan Mountain. Zhou Luo checked the time on his phone. 3 minutes left. He took a deep breath. His gaze briefly swept over Wu Qian in the crowd. Wu Qian, like everyone else present, was staring at Qi Nan Mountain, now coated in a layer of gold. His eyes were full of awe. A scene like this would have been impossible before the pathogenic era began. Initial realm, 2nd level. Just stepped into the ranks of the awakened. His speed shouldn't be too fast. Zhou Luo secretly assessed Wu Qiyun's cultivation level. In his past life, Wu Qian only mentioned that he obtained the 9-yang Bagua disc in the Southern Mountains secret realm. He never gave the specific details, so Zhou Luo still had to be a little cautious. If Wu Qian possessed some unknown, strange abilities, and caused Zhou Luo to lose track of him, that would be a huge embarrassment. Just as Zhou Luo was pondering this, a tremendous roar suddenly erupted from the sky above. The clouds were instantly dispersed by an extremely vast, golden light. Immediately, the entire Qinan mountain was enveloped. Then, the ground beneath everyone's feet began to rumble and shake. The massive Qinan mountain also began to slowly transform with the tremors. In just moments, Qinan mountain actually split in two, revealing a crack like a heavenly gate. Golden divine light shone from within the crack. Those outside couldn't see the scene inside clearly, but everyone present could feel that inside this crack definitely hid something extraordinary. Charge! Someone, no one knew who, took the lead and shouted. Immediately after, everyone at the foot of the mountain acted as if their lives depended on it, rushing toward that crack. Among them was Wu Qiyun. Zhou Luo quickly noticed this. He immediately followed behind Wu Qian, heading toward the crack together. However, he didn't get too close. He just maintained a distance of less than 10 meters from Wu Qian, ensuring he wouldn't lose him. Perhaps because Wu Qian's body was relatively frail, he couldn't push past the other stronger individuals and fell to the back of the crowd. Just as everyone was madly charging toward the crack, suddenly, a huge black shadow appeared within the crack. Then, the shadow slowly emerged from the golden light. Everyone could see its form clearly now. A massive, pitch-black serpent. This giant snake was dozens of meters long, with a girth thicker than a concrete pillar. The moment it appeared, it twisted its enormous body and instantly reached the front of the crowd. Then it opened its gaping maw. With just a slight lunge forward, 5 or 6 lucky individuals immediately fell into its jaws, swallowed whole by the giant serpent. Their fate was unknown. Everyone was terrified. Those who had been charging at the front immediately turned and ran, wishing they had 4 legs. But some of the braver ones, just a snake. We've awakened. Why be afraid of it? Follow me. Let's kill this beast. Then go find treasure inside that celestial gate. These words actually rallied many who were about to flee. They steadied themselves, ready to resist the giant serpent together. But the next second, the giant serpent just lightly flicked its tail. Those awakened who wanted to slay it were all sent flying dozens of meters away, dying on the spot. The others who survived didn't even think. They immediately turned and ran, including Wu Qian. This scene was all taken in by Zhou Luo. Just as I thought, this mountain guardian beast has appeared exactly like in my past life. Zhou Luo watched the giant serpent slaughtering freely among the crowd. His eyes flickered. He remembered. This giant python killed many in the Southern Mountains secret realm, and because of its appearance, the first group to reach Qinan Mountain suffered heavy casualties. Not a single person could break through its defense to enter the secret realm. It wasn't until later, when the Great Xia Alliance heard the news and sent strong reinforcements, and everyone worked together to kill the serpent, that the Southern Mountains secret realm finally truly opened. But what exactly happened during that time? How could an unremarkable awakened like Wu Qiyun end up obtaining the 9 Suns Bagua plate? Zhou Luo would have to witness this himself. Thinking of this, Zhou Luo quietly took a few steps back, his gaze fixed on Wu Qian. The moment Wu Qian made a move, he would follow immediately. The crowd retreated like a tide. Soon, everyone was back at the foot of Qinan Mountain. But the guardian serpent was still hot on their heels. Every minute, dozens would die by the serpent's hand. The once massive crowd was rapidly dwindling. Perhaps as a stroke of luck, Wu Qian, who had been stuck at the back from the start, now had the advantage in escaping. Once back at the foot of the mountain, he quickly found a large tree for cover, hiding behind it. After taking cover, he kept peeking toward the serpent's direction. But what he didn't know was this. Not far from him, a pair of eyes had been quietly observing his every move. Elsewhere, after the mountain guardian python entered the crowd, it immediately revealed its ferocious side. With a casual swing of its tail, it could directly crush a large number of unlucky souls. With another bite, several more people were swallowed alive by it. Those who had recklessly charged toward the heavenly gate were now filled with deep regret. At the rear of the crowd, the Bailey group was now in an extremely safe position, having chosen from the start not to follow the charge. Lu Yuer watched the scene of frenzied slaughter before her eyes, showing not a hint of pity. Instead, she narrowed her eyes slightly, as if pondering something. After a long moment, she turned to look at the Bailey group members behind her and said softly, "Wait for me here. I'll go deal with this little worm." With that, she focused her mind, and a pair of black feathered wings suddenly unfurled behind her. The next moment, with a light flap of the wings, she flew directly toward the python's location. The commotion Lu Yue caused was so great that it also caught the attention of Zhou Luo, who wasn't far away. Is this an ability of the same origin as the Black Feather King? Zhou Luo carefully observed the pair of black wings. As a nine-nether chaos body, his eyes had already been endowed with the ability of the Law Pupil and Word Spirit. With just one glance, he directly saw through the power characteristics of these black wings. Speed, pure speed. No wonder people in his past life always said, the fastest person in the world was none other than the Black Feather King. Even the incomplete version of the black wings awakened by the Black Feather King's sister could make her speed so incredibly fast. As for the Black Feather King himself, whose condition was even more severe, and who had awakened the complete version of the black wings, one can't even imagine how fast his speed must be. After Lu Yue swooped down and charged above the mountain guardian python, she commanded her black wings and gave a light flap toward the python. Dozens of black feathers suddenly shot out, flying directly toward the python. After these black feathers touched the mountain guardian python's surface, they weren't completely blocked like others' attacks. Instead, they directly pierced through the python's scales and deeply embedded themselves into its flesh. The guardian serpent writhed in pain. Then, killing intent flared in its cold, reptilian eyes. It whipped its tail straight at Lu Yue, who was still mid-air. But Lu Yue was faster. Just as the tail was about to hit her, she darted out of the way. Having dodged the attack, Lu Yue used the same move again. Dozens of black feathers pierced the serpent's body once more. It looked like Lu Yue had the upper hand. This sight made the others who were still fleeing rekindle a glimmer of hope. If Lu Yue could finish off this serpent, they could finally enter that door. Watching the serpent howl in agony from the piercing, Zhou Luo silently shook his head, just scratching the surface. He knew perfectly well that while the serpent looked badly beaten, in reality, Lu Yue's two waves of attacks only caused it some pain, far from actually injuring it. Sure enough, after Lu Yue landed a few more hits, the serpent seemed thoroughly enraged. A crimson aura emanated from its entire body, as if it had entered a frenzy. With a sharp crack through the air, a tail whip, several times faster than before, lashed straight at Lu Yue. This time, Lu Yue wasn't as composed. She clearly couldn't react in time. Only when the tail was almost in her face did she try to dodge. But it was too late. Although it didn't hit her directly, the attack landed squarely on Lu Yue's wings. She was slammed from the sky, crashing to the ground with a thud. Her black dress was instantly caked with dirt. Blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. Miss, the Bailey group members rushed to her side. Lu Yue struggled to her feet. Her already pale face was now completely drained of color, as fragile as a willow in the wind. Fall back now. She tried to speak. The next moment, the giant serpent had slithered to within 10 meters of her. Its gaping maw opened in an instant. It lunged straight for Lu Yue. A flash of despair and regret crossed Lu Yue's eyes. She had overestimated herself. Likewise, she had underestimated the giant serpent before her. After all, the mutated era had just begun. Experience in dealing with mutated beasts like this serpent was still lacking. Just as she despaired, a dark figure suddenly appeared just inches from the serpent's body. The figure drew back a fist and threw a punch directly at the spot. The serpent instantly reacted as if struck in a vital point. Its entire body convulsed. Its gaping maw snapped shut. It twisted its body and instantly retreated hundreds of meters. Then, a pair of cold serpent eyes fixed intently on the new figure that had appeared. It's someone from the Great Xia Alliance. Zhou Luo also shifted his gaze. He immediately recognized the identity of the one who intervened. It was a burly man with a buzz cut, wearing a special uniform. This uniform was the official uniform of the Great Xia Alliance. In his past life, Zhou Luo had some connections with the Great Xia Alliance, so he recognized it at a glance. The Great Xia Alliance's people have indeed arrived, exactly as it happened in my past life. Zhou Luo glanced again in Wu Qiyun's direction. Wu Qiyun was still hiding behind that large tree, peeking out toward the battlefield ahead, still showing no intention of leaving. It seems the variable will only occur after entering the Southern Mountain's secret realm. Zhou Luo originally thought Wu Qiyun had triggered some special mechanism, allowing him to enter the Southern Mountain's secret realm early. That's how, with his ordinary strength, he obtained the treasure, the Nine Suns Bagua plate. But now it seems this guy was probably just plain lucky. After entering the Southern Mountain secret realm with the others, he did something, and by chance stumbled into the Nine Suns Bagua plate storage place, and took it. In that case, there's no need to waste any more time. Zhou Luo's eyes turned cold. The reason he hadn't dealt with this serpent yet was to observe Wu Qiyun. Now he has his answer. He doesn't need to observe any longer. He should quickly finish off this serpent. Getting Wu Qun into the Southern Mountains' secret realm is the priority. Next up, it's his turn to act. The battle on the field remains intense. After Lu Yuer withdrew, the giant serpent and the burly man from the Great Xia Alliance were locked in a fierce back-and-forth battle. However, as time slowly passed, anyone with eyes could see that the burly man was still at a disadvantage. The strength of that mountain-guarding serpent truly exceeded everyone's expectations. Not only is it strong, it's frighteningly strong. This is definitely a beast at the Linbian realm. Damn it, this damn snake is just too damn fierce. Sent staggering back over a dozen steps by a whip of the serpent's tail, the burly man was already cursing in his heart. His name is Chu Hanyan. He is a top expert within the Great Xia Alliance of Jiangnan City. His strength is at the 8th level of the initial realm. Upon hearing that a giant serpent beast had appeared on Qinan Mountain, he was immediately dispatched by the Jiangnan City headquarters to assist everyone in dealing with it, thinking that as the strongest in the Great Xia Alliance of Jiangnan City, he could easily handle this giant serpent. But now it's clear that's not the case at all. Forget about dealing with the serpent, he's about to be dealt with by it. Just moments ago, he had already sent a distress call to headquarters. Headquarters informed him that a heavy weapons unit had already been dispatched and was on its way. Estimated arrival time is about 10 minutes. But how can he possibly hold out for 10 minutes? Meanwhile, Lu Yuer could also see that Chu Hanyan was about to reach his limit. She gritted her teeth. Her gaze turned towards Zhou Luo's direction. In her view, among everyone present, if there was one person who could stand a chance against this serpent, it was only Zhou Luo. But ever since earlier, she had been secretly observing Zhou Luo. She noticed he didn't seem to have any intention of stepping in. Looks like we won't be able to enter the mutated Qinan Mountain this time. No, we need to get out of here, fast. Once this Great Xia Alliance guy can't hold on, I'm afraid I'll be done for here too. I need to hurry back and inform my brother. The anomaly on Qinan Mountain clearly isn't simple. There might be some incredible opportunity hidden inside. Lu Yuer was already planning to have her subordinates take her and leave, but right at that moment, the figure she had been watching, standing motionless in her sight, suddenly moved. He's going to make his move. Not far ahead, Zhou Luo decided to make his move. He immediately drew the silver serpent spear from his sleeve. The next moment, he was already above the giant serpent, spear in hand. The serpent, which had just gained the upper hand in its fight with the burly man, now saw another insect approaching. A flash of disdain crossed its serpentine eyes. Then, it casually swung its tail towards Zhou Luo's position in the sky. The tail tore through the air, rushing towards Zhou Luo with incredible speed. Look out! On the ground, Chu Hanyan, who had finally caught his breath, saw this. He quickly shouted a warning to Zhou Luo, trying to alert him. But the next instant, his eyes widened in shock, as if he had witnessed something unbelievable. High in the sky, Zhou Luo watched the incoming attack. His expression was utterly calm, showing not a trace of fear. Pathetic. With just a light wave of his hand, the massive tail was instantly sent flying back, like a kite with its string cut. The mountain guardian serpent felt a piercing pain shoot through its tail, even more intense than when the burly man struck its vitals. Its vertical pupils fixed fiercely on Zhou Luo in the sky. The serpent was planning its counterattack. But it soon sensed something was wrong. Where is he? Where did the man above me go? Its serpentine eyes reacted swiftly, scanning the surroundings. But Zhou Luo was nowhere to be found. Just as the serpent was puzzled, a magnetic voice came from directly above its head. Stop looking. I'm right here. The serpent flicked its tongue, immediately opening its maw to spew venom at Zhou Luo. This venom was its trump card, capable of instantly melting a transformation realm expert of equal power. But before it could unleash it, Zhou Luo, standing above the serpent's head, thrust his silver serpent spear downward. The spear met no resistance, instantly piercing clean through the serpent's skull. The mountain guardian serpent thrashed violently, wreaking havoc at the foot of Mount Qinan in moments. Yet, the silver serpent spear in Zhou Luo's hand remained fixed within the serpent's skull, utterly unmoving. Only when streams of black blood flowed from the spear's tip did the serpent's body gradually lose its vitality. The light in its vertical pupils also began to fade. In just a moment, the mountain guardian serpent had lost all signs of life. Mutant beasts in the early days of the Plague Epoch are still too weak, not even worth my effort. Looking down at the cold serpent corpse beneath his feet, Zhou Luo exerted a slight force with his right hand. The silver serpent spear slid out from the serpent's head. Or perhaps I should say, I'm just too strong. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his lips. In this life, he was finally experiencing what it felt like to be powerful. He was no longer like his past self, a weakling who couldn't even kill a chicken. Seeing the serpent dead, Chu Hanyun's eyes nearly popped out of his head. This mutant beast that had nearly killed him moments ago was actually taken down by Zhou Luo in just a couple of moves. It didn't even have a chance to fight back. It was a complete and utter stomp. To think our Jiangnan city has someone like this. Chu Hanyun quickly took a couple more glances at Zhou Luo. The more he looked, the more familiar Zhou Luo seemed. Isn't this the mysterious man who killed that silver-scaled profound serpent a few days ago? It's actually him. Once he recognized Zhou Luo's identity, Chu Hanyun was no longer surprised. Back then, the plague epoch had just begun. Most people's strength was still at the early initial realm stage. Facing that silver-scaled profound serpent at the threshold realm, only powerful firearms could deal with it. Just as reinforcements from the Great Xia Alliance were about to arrive, Zhou Luo suddenly appeared. He completely stunned everyone, including the Great Xia Alliance's commander-in-chief. A single man tore apart that nearly invincible silver-scaled profound serpent with his bare hands. That scene was absolutely terrifying. After the incident, although Zhou Luo chose to leave immediately, the Great Xia Alliance still searched everywhere for him. Who would have thought I'd run into him today? Seeing Zhou Luo take down the mountain guardian serpent with a single spear thrust, Lu Yuer was also filled with awe. This scene, why does it feel so familiar? It seems exactly the same as when Zhou Luo instantly killed Ruan Yanfeng, doesn't it? Like kicking a stray dog to death on the roadside. A casual thrust of his spear directly eliminated this terrifying threshold realm serpent. I underestimated him. In Lu Yuer's mind, she had already redefined Zhou Luo's strength. She felt Zhou Luo's power might be on the same level as her brother's.